goodness, it is finally time. Welcome to episode 7 of Session 0. And you know what episode 7 means? Episode 7 means that it is time for our first session of gameplay. Thank you for joining us and welcome for the first time, even though it's the 7th time, to Session 0. So let's not waste any more time. Let us bring in all of our expert players of game who haven't come up there yet. So we're going to have to use this one for now. There we go. Welcome, everybody. Lovely to have you all there.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
It's fantastic to have you all with us for our first real full session. So,
Awesome.
this should be pretty exciting. Now, we're just waiting on one there to find out whether we're going to get a full contingent, but we definitely have enough to play. And that means we have our entire troop together at last. All right. I've had some time off. We've been up north. I may have bought a drone and I may have flown it all around instead of doing preparation for the last 5 days. But I did spend a large amount of today frantically trying to be a little bit more prepared than usual. So that I'm excited about. But before we start, how are you? How are you viewers? And how are you, Anthony and Brendo and Kitty and Sasha?
I'm good.
Not bad.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Although I did notice that Kitty and I are the wrong way around on Twitch.
Oh, so you are.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's because you would have dropped out before, I think, Kitty. So let me just whoop this around. Thank you for the update there.
Yeah.
Bit of live stream maintenance. This is the content you have all come to expect from Einstein's Barber, so it should all be good. All right,
Called a peek behind the scenes.
that's it. Let me do just one quick check. Just check whether we're being joined by Arlene this evening. And then we should begin. Before we do that, though, we've done a bit of welcome. I've actually I've got a list tonight of stuff, just in case I get it wrong. So I've done the welcome. I can even tick things now. I love it. I love a list. I did want to start off with a few plugs. First of all, I wanted to plug our 2 first ever subscribers, which might not seem like a big thing to most of you watching, but we got 2 subscribers. So Franco, thank you very much, and Sublime Traps, who I must admit I know both of them. Well, I know Franco IRL. Nope, we're not going to have Arlene. She says it's her off week. Yeah, I know Franco in real life, and I was playing Sea of Thieves with Sublime Traps on stream, and so they threw a Prime sub at me. So I'm very appreciative anyway. Also, though, I've got to say thank you very much to the Wasted Days and Loza Avril, who both dropped on before we started today. So thank you for joining the community. Lovely to have you with us. Speaking of the community, you'll notice in our chat on stream, which is the best way to get involved while we are playing. We've got the girl in the next room who's been with us since pretty much the beginning. And because she's there, like next door. And Book God, who definitely has been with us since the beginning. Very early on, helped us with some of our character creations with some fantastic ideas.
The OGBG.
Exactly right. We got Brendo's Brain in there, who is Brendo. And we've got Archaic Engine in there, which is Kitty. And then we've got Adonis Blackraven in there. Flurry of Foes, as it says, is Remy. So if you want one of us to talk to you back, either on stream, which probably won't happen all the time while we're role-playing, but definitely there is Little Siren, Little is Sasha, but definitely in the chat, your best move is probably to pop on over there into the chat. But on the other hand, we also have our Discord open, which I will check when I can. But there's lots of little like screens and things here that I'm still getting myself used to. So I will try and look there. But if you are going to talk in our Discord, I would recommend Session 0 Engagement as the tab to go into. Another one to check out if you're part of the Discord, though, is Session 0 Documents, where I've dropped the map that you see on the screen. The calendar, which we will probably mention in brief, which is all complicated and stuff, and a few other things that the players have access to that there's no reason that you shouldn't either. Do be aware there might be some light spoilers in there from time to time, but we can pretend we don't know stuff.
I do it all the time.
That's it. And as book...
I actually pretend I do know stuff.
That's the bigger challenge sometimes, I think, is pretending I know things. Book God, you're absolutely right. Episode 1, Season 1, except for the other 7 prequels. That's going to get easier and easier the further we get into this, so we'll move right on.
That's just all prologue. All prologue.
That's it. Couple of
Chapter 1.
stream-specific things. I've been playing around with some plugins, so if you hover over your little page, your little stream, you should have a little D&D Beyond pop-up come, and you should be able to see the stats of all of our players. There's also some sound alerts that I played with today, which you can use bits, which I don't recommend, or channel points, which I do recommend to use. But if you really want to play around with channel points, we did not make our lofty goal of 25,000 channel points, which might be because that's too many, to have the chat set up our first NPC. But I have built up another one in there, if I'm not wrong. Let me just see if it worked. Oh, there's a lot in there. There's suggest a random encounter, but there was another one that I put up, and if it hasn't worked, I will redo it to have a user-created world boss. So if that's not up now, which it doesn't look like it is, I'll definitely have it up for our next stream. And that's going to be a 30-day length, and it'll allow you, as the chat, on one of our off weeks, which is next week, to build a character. That will be a boss that we'll just throw onto our random tables and drop in. But there's lots of other ways to spend channel points in there because I don't think there's much else you can do with them, but spend them. That's that. What else we got? Sounds alerts, channel points, engagement. Yeah. If there's anything else that you guys think we need to do, please involve. You'll notice on the new screen that we're going to make up, which is going to have bigger pictures of us, which looks like that. And eventually it will have sort of big people over here.
Awesome.
Ooh.
And
That's great.
Gives us the opportunity to do more role-play stuff.
More real estate.
That's it. Because one thing we've learned from our pre-sessions is everybody doesn't mind diving in and doing a little bit of role-play. And it would be a shame not to see people's expressions while doing that because either it's very good or, in my case, it looks Gumby and hilarious.
Entertaining is the point, though, right?
100%. So it looks like
laughing
that.
at you.
That's it. That's all good. But God, it won't be next week. I doubt we'll get to our points by next week. So we've got a full month before you need to be there to help build up the boss. But we've got to get those channel points first, which means I actually have to build the thing properly. But that's essentially what this will look like. Which we might start on now rather than the other, because that way everyone's bug. And as I go on, I'll put little pretty pictures and everything on this one. But I imagine this will be better than this one when we're just talking, introing, and those kind of things. And I'll keep playing with it. So feedback, always welcome, I suppose, is the big point. In fact, super important. Throw your ideas out for the characters, what they'll do next, what the NPCs might say. We'll look at them in chat. And you never know. The players might use something you said. We might use something you want. But God says the D&D plugin is working. So many wins. So, before we go any further, we want to just do a few more plugs. So, Anthony, do you want to remind us of what you do on a Friday night while Brendo and I are playing Sea of Thieves?
Yeah, sure. Friday night was a weekly D&D session, and I had a group running through Rime of the Frost Maiden from level 1. They're now level 14, and following finishing that, they've crossed the continent and now running amok in the jungles of Chult. In an adventure that sort of set after Tomb of Annihilation. So that's been really fun, and that's a long-lived campaign. Every episode is available. If you want to watch 1,000 hours of D&D, you feel free.
Oh, well done.
Yeah, and just last Friday we had session 0 for the new Feywild campaign. So yeah, that's going to be great, because the last 2 big books that they released were all grim, dark, hell and frozen ice stuff, and now it's a complete pivot into the Feywild, and it's looking good.
That's awesome.
And yeah, so that's pretty much it. So just launching into a first campaign and just sort of getting to the pointy end of another one.
Fantastic. Anybody else? Sasha, Kitty, Brendo, have you got anything on the go that's worth plugging?
Not really. This.
Only that I put something in the chat for a potential goal idea for the points, which is just however many points you decide is appropriate. Start a war.
I'm sure that'll happen. I'm getting the distinct impression that will probably happen just of your own accord. No points required, but I like that idea.
Personally
No
attacked.
promises.
Absolutely.
People who are interested, you can find me all over the internet under Brenno's Brain. I occasionally stream. I've started doing TikToks for a lot of the LARP stuff that I'm doing, which will include my Concord character and a vampire one. I would do Formosus, but being in full red paint would be like, whew. Oh man, that's like a future me problem.
I'm
Yeah.
so excited for Concord.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
So those of you who haven't joined us before, there are a lot of very experienced players that way. DMs, LARPers, role players, character ideas, and then there's little old me who's just making stuff up as I go along, which is sort of what you're supposed to do, I think.
Fake it
Yeah,
till you make it.
Absolutely.
That's kind of how all that stuff goes.
That's exactly what
right.
it all is.
All right, a couple more. Last week, or we might have doing the week before, while we were just about finishing up, we had the folks over at Monsters and Mayhem come and give us a bit of a raid. They're a mob of players like us over on the East Coast who are running in tandem with us, essentially having a bit of a stream that normally finishes about halfway through ours. So if you're looking for something to do before we start, you should totally get over there and watch some of their stuff as well. I know there's a lot of watching on your plate. You've got to watch all Anthony's stuff. You now have got to watch Monsters and Mayhem, and it's only a few weeks until the 3rd season of Critical Role. So I know you all are busy, but you can do it.
We believe in you.
That's exactly right. Well, if there's nothing else then, shall we begin?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Wow, lovely.
Yeah.
I wrote a little thing. It goes a bit like this. Vendalin. Island. A people? A civilization. A stronghold in isolation. Whatever it is, it sits in an era of peace. Of calm. Some might say in hermitage. Although some really wouldn't, because time can be like that. It makes things hazy as one ages and dies and passes their spark on. Nevertheless, the peoples of Vendalin till their earth, build cities on the ruins of cities, and look to tomorrow, instead of the ancient past, to the next challenge, rather than the unseen doom of a veiled future. What year is it? Again with the questions about time. Not that it matters, but to these fleeting lives, it is 891 years after the charming reckoning of dates. Day has come on the 4th zenith of Saban's toil, the 2nd phase of the calendar. All is calm. Wars quietly seethe, peoples plot and scheme about their existence, and in a forgotten corner of the verse, a group of would-be adventurers ignore the curious coincidence that brought them together on the road. Because who sees coincidence as any more than a discarded mote of luck? Things begin to move beyond the veil. But they don't know that. And so we begin our adventure on the road, not too far out of a city known as Sedendria. Now, Sedendria sits on an isthmus, for want of a better term, in the south of the island of Vendalia. Now, Vendalia, it looks a bit like that. And so our Sedendrian city is about here. Sedendria takes the name of a great past civilization on this continent. But these days, Sedendria is a little bit more of a second town to its larger and older centre of Bryad to the west. Over the past few days, our adventurers, our players, have found themselves inexorably taken in a similar direction. And it's heading in that direction that we meet them this evening. Elfir, pit fighter, guide, interesting individual, came somehow across a message that suggested that the Crossroads is where they should go. That was shared with Tenare and Formosus. And then the same thought came across Remiel and Tanner. And it was a few miles out of town where the five of them met on the road. And we will pick up there with those characters meeting late in the afternoon as the sun begins to go down. Elfir, having organised to meet Tenare and Formosus after their foray at the pit fight and then later at the bar. And Remiel and Tana, not far behind, quietly following out after running into Formosus and Tenare in that self-same bar, the Hanged Vagrant's Toenail. Elfir, you're standing around, leaning on a stump, hiding in the bushes, whatever it is that you do, when you see 4 shadows appear over the road and move in your way, rapidly becoming familiar. Over to you.
Huh, that's 2 more than I was expecting originally, but guess we could use the company. Hey, over here, everyone. I'm all good. So, gonna... Seriously, guys, can you hurry up, please? I'm on my feet here.
It's the ghost! This is the fighter I was telling you two about! Yes! This is the famous pit fighter that won us all that money!
Awesome.
Hey!
Elfir, is that right?
Yes, Elfir.
Okay. I'll go and do the warrior's handshake, whatever that is. Fist bump,
Sure.
or whatever. Do you not know one?
That really should have been the first roll of the campaign.
Roll for handshake.
They're just awkward, just like, yeah, sure.
You are a great warrior, I
Please
hear.
don't use that name for me. I did not make it.
You know you love it. It is a good name.
I will slap you.
Okay.
Look, he might like
You've
that.
seen what that can do.
I have, and I made some good money on it, so it is fun.
Yeah,
It is
yeah,
fun.
you're welcome. Ribs
Thank
still
you.
cracked, I think. So, any idea what's actually happening out here? I was just told that this is the place to be. Got this note, and
I thought we were coming to talk to you. Look around to everyone.
Yeah,
I got this note saying to come out here to talk to someone.
Sasha, would you roll me a perception check as you reach in to find the note?
Sure thing.
where's it gone? No.
10?
You sure you put it in that pocket? Oh, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Ah, crap. Was
Got
it
him.
this
Only
pocket?
contact.
No. Just checking all of my pockets. Just
Is this just a crossroads, or are there houses and things around?
You're just past the crossroads. So the houses have petered out, and it's a small stretch of reasonably straight road, treed on both sides, between the end of the sort of outer city kind of area before the crossroads, which is just a meeting of a number of different ways, with a couple of little buildings that you all know of, with the exception probably of Tenare. You've either all heard of or been to it. Remiel, you definitely have.
Yep. The crossroads is just ahead. Is that where we've all been told to rendezvous?
yeah.
Elfia.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Continue.
So we could just make our way carefully there, or if you think this is where whoever's going to meet us is going to come past this way, we could just sort of step off the path and, I don't know, make some toast.
Said the crossroads. We're not really worth ambushing.
I take offense to that.
I'm worth ambushing, apparently.
Did you go down? Did you go down the alley near South Street?
Yes. Stab City. Well, that's what they
Yeah.
tried. Well,
Yeah,
they did.
no, anyone who goes down there gets ambushed.
Yes. Well, now I
So
know.
that is why they call it Stab City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
Good
why
to
you're a
know.
guide.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Well,
You're remembering that that evening of entertainment, Remiel, by this stage, almost fondly. The bruises are starting to fade, and after all, you survived.
yeah.
We did.
Can I get you all to roll me a
Althea
perception
is
check,
still-
please?
Sorry.
Yeah,
I missed
everyone?
that.
Everyone, roll a perception check.
Perception. Okay.
That's better. 15.
I also... Oh no, Elfie got a 15. I got a 10.
I got 23
19.
Nice.
with a nat 20.
Oh,
So, Tenare, you hear it first.
first dice roll of the day.
Very well done.
Hell yeah.
Starting off,
Downhill.
what you all need to realise though is when I was testing the dice before with Brendo, and I was using Tenare, I was using your dice button inadvertently. That's your second D20, a natural 20 in a row.
Oh no.
So -1 was a 20 and 1 was a 20. So there you go.
Nice.
I'm not sure it counts because I pressed the button, but interesting stuff. You get the impression something's coming and you look up, and about 5 seconds later, Remiel, you start hearing the creak of some wheels
Okay.
on the
So
stone.
this is there's a wagon coming. I'm going to move off the road and hide. I'm going to tell them this, and I'll provide cover.
Tenare,
Someone
you are able to have acted 5 seconds before that, having already known. So when Remy turns around, Tenare, you've already done what it is you want to do.
Yeah, I think I'm completely ignorant of this. Do I know enough to recognize whether it's like a wagon or a coach? Like, are there horses as well?
Sounds like there's you get the impression that it's horses, wagon, something normal. It's not uncommon, quite a busy path. You've probably had 1 or 2 people walk past you as you walked out.
I don't think to hide. From my experience, it's probably just another cart. We're just outside the crossroads. It's a busy road. I'm not thinking it's actually a threat or anything.
Yeah, I'm not bothering hiding because
sure-
hiding just makes me look like a bandit.
But seeing that Remy ducks away, I sort of kind of turn with this like, what are you doing?
I'm just going to tell you, I'm just moving off the road as insurance.
Okay. That makes sense. You want to give them a nice free path. I see. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You rolled a 19, Remy, so you can give me a hide check if you want.
Okay.
I will stand off the path, but not try to hide. Like off the road, just on the side of the road.
24.
Nice.
Wow.
Did he run off? Where is he gone? He's a big fella, but he can hide.
Dum, 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 dum.
You can move pretty fast too.
I mean, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I'm just going to move off the road and just look up, try to get eyes on the carriage.
Yeah. Is it a fairly flat landscape, or is
A
it?
slight rise. You see it coming a good 30 seconds before it pulls up in front of you, which it does. It wasn't moving particularly quickly, but it slows down to a walking pace about 50 feet away from you and just coasts to a stop directly in front of the three of you. Remy, you're a few feet away, hiding in a bush.
Yep.
And the door swings open, and a tall individual leans forward, head covered by a small hat, long spidery fingers on a cane, and says, "Good. You've arrived. Climb aboard then. Formosus, roll me a perception check."
Ooh, it's the person you met in the wagon before.
Yeah, that was some strong tea, so...
No strong tea.
Haha! An 8.
You got no perception of it. No perception of it whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just looking at the, like,
You recognise it as a fairly common model of carriage that's been pimped a little bit.
I'm sorry, do I know you from somewhere? Are you a fan?
A beckoning finger. In. You can either choose to get in, or you can roll a charisma save.
Is this all of us?
All of you.
Is there a
charisma save.
like what are they wearing? Is there like any like I don't know, religious symbols or robes or anything that is recognizable?
Nothing at all. You can't see the face. There's robes, but they don't seem to have any mark on them. They're dark. Can't tell whether they're exactly black, and you don't really see much of the individual because they pull themselves back into the carriage.
Alright. Yeah, I'm not keen to just, I may not be wise, but I'm not stupid.
Okay, well, Althea, you get straight aboard with that roll.
Well, if Elphir seems to think that it is fine, then I will accompany the ghost.
Here's the thing. Does that compulsion wear off as soon as I'm in there?
You're not in there yet, so in you jump. We'll get to that in a moment. Formosus, you jumping in, or are you making the save?
I mean, Elphir's going in. I'm like, yeah, what is this harmless little old lady gonna do?
Not little though. Seems quite tall. You may choose or roll your save, Tanaro.
Oh,
So you can
what was the was it charisma?
charisma save.
Ah, I see. Ooh, right. Let's do it. I got 19.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean,
You
this
pause.
is shitty. I'm familiar with darkness, and this is.
You pause and you think this is a bad idea, but the other two jump in and you follow. But you have misgivings about it.
I guess so.
And the three of them disappear inside. The four of them, sorry, disappear inside Anthony.
Yep.
And then you hear, not so much out of the door, but in your head, "You too, most strapping friend. On you come."
As soon as the effect wears off, I would like to do a thing.
Okay. Let's see what happens with
God.
Let's see what happens with Remy first.
Remy, okay. I'm not wanting them to ride off, so my initial thought was to just run after it and try to cling onto the side or grab underneath. But if there's something in my head that knows I'm definitely here, it's pointless hiding. So Do I feel like I can reply, or is this another compulsion type thing?
Yeah, you feel like you can probably reply, but the act will come eventually. So you can choose what you do, but then if you don't choose the way it wants, there will be you'll make the roll.
All right. Yeah, I'll trot out of the bushes, and as if I'm just running after a train that I'm almost about to miss, and just leap up onto the step and grab onto the side.
Oh, there he is. I wondered where you went.
You gotta wait for me to shake.
Very
Okay,
sneaky.
what?
Very sneaky. Very sneaky. Very sneaky. And you, my acolyte of death, aren't you the willful one? It took almost all of my power to bring you to me. Make yourselves comfortable. You look in, and the carriage is leather-clad, well lit but dark. So it's almost like it's a black light without that kind of I can't see light. And you notice in the carriage is this tall, elfish individual. Long, spidery fingers, though. And next to them, a disgruntled-looking red cap. Arms folded, hat just above the eyes. Definitely not so happy to be there.
Yeah.
And the door hasn't closed. The individual sits back. The red cap just sits there. So you may choose to do the thing if you wish, Sasha.
The question is, do I recognize someone who is powerful enough to turn me into a weasel?
You can roll an Arcana check if you wish.
Because this is going to determine how bad a mistake I'm about to make. 12.
Yeah, looking at them, you're like, ooh, they're like, I mean, there's that air of hinkiness around. Not like you don't feel the pulsating of the arcane, but you're just like, this doesn't seem like the kind of person to mess with too callously. Not a capricious approach one should take.
Okay, so instead of reactively trying to kick them up against the back of the carriage, just why did you use magic on us?
Darling, sometimes it's easier to convince than it is to bewitch. And at that, you realize that it didn't feel like any kind of magic you felt before. That compulsion wasn't a spell, insofar as you've understood it, but something akin to persuasion. There was magic in it, but not magic on it, if you know what I mean.
Ah, you're an enchanter.
Still playing dirty.
Wait, you're saying you all got enchanted? I just got on.
An enchanter.
Could I sneakily, well not sneakily, but like just could I, is it cast? I think it's a spell.
Oh.
Or to sense like the eyes of the grave.
Yep, go ahead.
Hang on. So it just says until the end of your next turn, you know the location of any undead within 60 feet of you that isn't behind total cover, that isn't protected from divination magic. Doesn't tell you anything about the creature, but just whether it's undead.
Nope, no undead within 60 feet. And as you do that, you just see this little flash, almost imperceptible. And the individual says, "You needn't worry about undead. Nothing so inelegant exists here." What was that noise? I don't know that noise. It was a boom. Hold on 1 second. I don't know what that boom means. Oh well, I'll worry about it later. Just sort of, you needn't cast. I can provide that information for you, and straight away, not only do you recognize there's no undead within 60 feet, you feel that sensation zoom out to 500 feet. And you recognise that not only is there no undead within 60 feet, there's no undead within 500 feet, but there are 123 partial or complete skeletons buried in that area.
Althea, they're not. I don't think there's that powerful a wizard. You can tell by the size of the sleeves. If they're really,
If they're really the thing, my friend,
if they're really droopy, they're really powerful.
And I'm just like dangling.
Yeah, that's for wizards.
And there was
Fit more wands in
Could
there.
be sorcerers just
I
dress like
could be a
nobles and stuff,
wizard if
make
I
them look
wanted to.
like good hostages.
There's a pause, and their hand comes up and goes, "Well, tea?" And
No thanks, you're a stranger.
for Moses, you can roll a history check with disadvantage after your 8.
I really want to just fail this so that we can have this happen again. Okay.
The tea is wonderful.
Beautiful. Disadvantage. So I got a 24 and a 10.
And you look at this clearly dodgy individual with a red cap sitting next to it, still hasn't moved, still just seething, and you think it's probably not a great idea, but I do like tea.
It's probably not the strangest cup of tea I drank. A couple of weeks ago, I had something that knocked me out for what could have been days. And I take the cup, I'm going to slide in next to the red cup and go, "Hey, how are you doing?" And then just start drinking.
So the individual, as soon as you move for it, suddenly the table in the middle was always there, but you didn't notice it till now, or it wasn't, but it always was. And as you go to reach it, it's there, and you move across, and you feel like you would have hit something, but you don't. And you are now sitting on the same size, and it looked like it was going to be quite a squish, but there's plenty of room between you and the red cap, and the red cap looks up and goes, "Piss off."
Charming, Azo.
Friendly.
I like your hat. It is very red. Is it damp?
I still don't like you.
Still? Sure.
They say you can take the measure of a gnome by the length of their hat.
No.
Oh, I'm good friends with a gnome. Unfortunately, she couldn't be with us, but we just Formosa.
Formosas. Formosas or just form, whatever. It is
Formosas. Is that the plural?
Are there more of me?
I don't know. Formosus. Formosus is the singular, right?
Formosi would be a collective noun, wouldn't it?
Ah, yes. Well, I have need of a bard. I've been jotting something down here. I've got a piece of paper, and it's about last week's adventure, last session's adventure. And I thought
you call that an adventure? Sure. I call it a mess.
Yeah. Well, it's called Ode to Miss Twistbonk.
Twistbonk.
That is a catchy name.
Are you ready?
Wasn't she the one in the paper?
Wait, would you like me to play something to go along with you?
If you can, I will need some.
You guys are all brought into silence by the cough. It was definitely not a cough, but it's like tea. Feel free to check it. There's nothing in it. For Moses, you're already drinking it. It's fine.
Oh yeah,
you're certain it's fine.
Do we notice any effect that it's had on Formosus?
No, he's annoying and precocious and out there and comfortable and
it's a bit weird anyway, so it's hard to tell, right?
It's really definitely having an effect on the red cat next to him though. Does not like it. You see Dot looking up, shifting across towards its master, and then
what's the tea? I don't quite get the tea.
So there's a plate of tea in front of you and it's been offered.
Oh right.
I just pushed my cup away.
I will take the cup and sort of nurse it and maybe smell it and see if I can recognize any I don't know, anything other than tea.
So roll a
any I don't know, poison?
Well, like there may be some like herbs I'm familiar with that.
Roll a perception
I
check.
am used to, helping people die.
Make it
So there's a
nature
lot of,
or make it
a
nature
lot
or
of
medicine, Tanaro.
Sure. Oof. That is a 12.
No, seems fine. It smells fruity. Some sort of flour in it. Smells wholesome. Perfect warmth. It's been steeped correctly.
Okay.
And you would know from your rituals that a correctly steeped tea is très important.
Yeah. Does it smell good though?
It smells amazing.
Okay. I'll just sort of hold it. Like so much of what is good about tea sometimes is just holding it and keeping warm in your hands and that comfort. So maybe I'll just do that for a little bit. Buying my time, but not necessarily completely dismissing it.
You see Zelmar do likewise, but eventually they take a deep drink and go. What about you, Remy? Do you drink the tea?
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna. I'm interested. It smells great. I'm gonna cup it and have a sniff. Then have a little sip.
Cool. You can roll a medicine check or a herbalism check if you want.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Medicine. Oh, I've got a 17.
Yeah. Again, it just smells wholesome and fruity and sweet and brilliant.
Awesome. In that case, I'll look across at the enchanting spider witch person because she cut me off from my song.
Yes. And you get the impression that now's probably not the time for that discussion. They seem, I'm not sure yet. They seem to be not rushing the purpose, but definitely with a specific purpose, which is not completely unexpected, considering is the carriage picked you up out of nowhere, and they seem to know that you would be there.
Yeah, so this is our pickup, unless we've just been hijacked. We'll be rowing a galley sometime soon.
And at that, the individual that will eventually become known to you as Zalnar looks over at Elfir and says, "No tea, Elfir."
No, you're a stranger who used some kind of bewitchment on us. And presumably you're the one who called us out. I would like to know why before I trust anything you offer me.
And at that, they reach into the robe and pull out a little bit of parchment and hand it to you. And if you take it, do you take it?
Yep, take it, open it up.
And it's exactly the thing that you couldn't find in your pocket before.
Oof.
You dropped that.
Yep, I connected those dots.
Now, you are all here with significant purpose. You may not know it, but much hinges upon your chance meeting. All seems quiet, yet it never is.
That's true.
Roll a perception check with disadvantage for Moses.
Here we go. Ben, another nat 20 maybe. Okay, so we got a 4. Can we go lower? And that's a 17, so it's a 4, my good man.
Yeah, no, just completely new to you.
This must have happened to me a lot that I'm just like, yeah, this is just a regular thing that I do. Jump into random wagons and drink tea with weirdos.
Yeah, I mean, you get high and go hang out with friends all the time, right?
That's it.
And then not remember them the next time they mysteriously appear.
Yeah.
And then,
It's normal.
as that happens, a deck of cards in Zalnar's hands. Well, you may care to check your fates, and lays them down on the table. However, it's only fair that I introduce myself to some of you. I am usually known as Zalnar. And a bow, and they look up, and you all see, for the first time, piercing cobalt eyes, so that light sort of cold blue for a moment, and a sharp nose and profile before they move their head back into shadow. And I've been waiting for you. The briefest glimpse of light snuffed out. No need for that. Just ask, and they hand back to you a little bauble of marble with the light contained in it. There'll be time for that. Allow me my theatrics.
Just sure.
I like this lady. Her taste for theatrics is quite inspiring. But instead of my like pew pew pew, hers is all like dark and foreboding.
You would like the theatrics.
Well, I mean,
Formosus, you're much more amicable than last time.
I'm sorry, have we met before? Oh my gosh, this is so rude. I've completely forgotten you.
Last time.
Elfir is wise to be cautious, but in this case, she will find it is unfounded. Allow me to introduce, and she points down beside you, Dot, my contemporary.
Contemporary.
May I insight check this?
Go right ahead.
Yep.
When you say contemporary, what in? What are you? What is
12.
Yeah, seems legit. In way of answer, Zalnar sort of intones with the head towards Dot. Dot says, I'm on the wagon. Try not to kill stuff. I'm merely assisting this Dot in a change of lifestyle.
Oh, well, change is important.
He kind of reminds me of a dwarf I must have met about 2, maybe 3 weeks ago, but I think he had a blue hat instead of a red one.
Does this lifestyle involve rowing?
Rowing. I don't have any jokes about what's the thing? What are they? Caps, coxswains.
Oh yeah, a madcap, coxswain. Perfect.
That's it. I like killing stuff, but it gets me in trouble. So Zalnar's kept me on the straight. And it looks up at you, Formosus, although I feel like a relapse.
Well, we cannot fight our urges, so I am a big,
Oh, I misunderstood. I kill things, but I do not fight generally. I see what you mean.
You're weird.
Everyone's weird.
It's sort of just head cocks to one side. It sort of doesn't really respond, just looks off. And before he gets a chance to get really annoyed about being confused, Zalnar continues.
I will sip the tea.
It's delicious. Floral, fragrant, like a green, like an oolong, but just with a nice sort of bitter sort of English breakfast follow. So you get best of both worlds.
Okay. Good. I will keep sipping, but not, not big swigs.
I bring you a choice. Would you like to test the fates? Or would you like me to unravel at least part of the thread of your journey?
I'd like you to cut to the chase.
Yes, I think unraveling would be good.
I'm feeling a bit reveled.
I would like to understand.
You've
more.
all met by chance, if that exists, at the Crossroads. And the next step is up to you. One option that might reveal certain things can be found in the bottom corner of the field, beneath the stump. Look there,
Okay, sorry.
and you will find something out of this world.
That way.
Out of this world.
Even so.
What do you mean by that?
Now. Let's not spoil every adventure. Everybody roll a Constitution saving throw.
Everybody,
wait.
or just those that drink tea?
Everybody?
Everybody.
Or those who drank the tea?
Everybody.
Crap!
Got a 20.
18.
14.
9.
Remy, you just gone. Alfia, you can feel something happening, and Zolna looks at you, goes, "Now this is magic," and you fade away furiously.
Can I try? I'd probably try to get a punch in and then just collapse.
100%. That's exactly what I imagined.
Just-
Absolutely. And literally, she just gets a spiny finger before you fall forward and just pushes your head back so you don't fall forward. Charming. And then looks over at you two, Tanare and Formosus. You rolled over 16, didn't you?
Yep.
Curious. Formosus, you did much better this time.
This time. Again, I just cannot remember. Again, I do not want to be rude. I'm sorry for my lightweight friends over here. They must not be able to resist whatever is in your tea. Tanara has been hanging out with me a fair bit, so that makes sense. We've been on some wild benders, but you know.
Moses, you act as though you haven't had substances and forgotten people in the past. It's not particularly rare.
I assume it's happened twice today.
It is one of my many sins that I forget my longtime fans.
It's your muse.
Zolna picks up a sugar cube and hands it to Formosus and says, "Try this, my dear. As for you," there you go, Lilith, "my dark lady,
Yes.
we shall watch your development with great intent.
Oh.
Now get out of my carriage, the both of
I
you."
don't get sugar.
Oh, and you see Dot sort of drop down, grab one, and pass it to you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, am I just to eat this, or do I put it in the
I've already
tea?
eaten it.
Really sweet, super sweet sugar.
I prefer the tea bitter and the sugar sweet.
Atta girl.
I'm still confused of what I do with this. I feel like I'm mostly sweet enough most of the time.
Zalna looks to you, Tanara, and goes, "Does he ever shut up?"
Oh, this is the joy of Formosus. He is this wonderful delight to be around. Always entertaining. Always with the stories.
Oh, stop. No, keep going.
Never let him change. Eat the sugar.
Eat the sugar. Eat the sugar.
And as it touches your lips, you suddenly remember the last time you were in the carriage. And before you're able to say anything, Zalnir goes, "We must do this again. Now out." And Dot sort of pushes you out of the carriage. And
Wait, I forgot to ask you what you put in that tea last time!
and the carriage takes off. And you notice that both Remy and Elfir are sort of propped up against one another, sort of head on head. And just as the carriage pops over the horizon, they start to wake up and come to.
Oh, wow, that was awesome. Hey, how do we get here?
Miniature sun going on in my
I saw
lighting
that.
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you've all had
There we go.
you've all had an encounter with the plot carriage.
Whoa!
Wow.
My head.
That tea was really strong.
It's the sugar cube. My whole setup
Sugar
is just
cube.
like
Now I've got
yes.
You've got a hole in your head.
I think we're
Nope,
good.
it's gone.
There we go. We're back together.
Ethereal for a time.
Close call.
So
I'm gonna
we've got to
punch
find
up.
a tree stump somewhere. We'll find a tree stump down the bottom of the hill.
So about
Corner of
another 5 or 8 minutes of walking it takes you.
I think I know the one.
Okay. Lead
all
on.
fields look the same.
Lead on, my friend.
You are the guide. I mean, I
Yeah,
trust.
it's like they're saying the stump at the bottom of the field.
Bottom
So,
corner of the field.
yeah,
This
I'm pretty sure I know the one. Part of me
Okay.
really doesn't want to do what they said, but they'd probably come back, be all mystical and pretentious again, and knock us out if we don't insist on drinking their tea.
I
So,
do
She
understand.
was quite lovely,
Yeah,
actually. She
I do
was.
understand your hesitation, but I mean, it could have been worse. They could have. I mean, they were in control, and we are fine.
You got a point, and I've got nothing better to do.
And I mean, this is why we're here, right?
Yeah,
we
yeah, like I said, I have half a mind, but the
I
rest
know
of
you
me
prefer
is too curious.
speak to be plain, and I know you like information to be clear, but sometimes these things are a little bit more mysterious and unknown.
And usually mystery means money.
No, see,
Or dead.
could have opened with that.
What, money?
Hey, it costs money to eat.
Sure.
So you all at this point, like, Tanari touches like this little pendant that's around her neck, and it's actually the gold she won betting on Elfia. She's actually put a slight hole in it and turned it into like a little pendant necklace. Money is still
What?
quite.
No,
quite-
that's
She doesn't. Yeah, she's
no.
not totally familiar with currency still, and it's like her first gold piece and the first exchange that she's ever done with real money in the real world.
Tanari,
she's,
Tanari, that's a lot. Oh my god.
She's just yeah, she's touched it when you just said that.
Trust me, Elfir, I have had this conversation with her, but it has sentimental value, so I gave up. It kind of
Okay, okay, let's see if I can put this in perspective.
I'll
Okay,
just tuck it
so,
into my many robes since I
I
see
pull
it's
out-
disturbing you.
I pull out one copper piece. So this is worth say
You
a loaf of bread or a jug of milk.
So, Tanari, you would realise that would buy you or Formosus a beer, but apparently it would only buy about 1/10 of a beer for Remy.
But
So,
you know, it's more it's
Those gold ones are worth 100 of these.
but the gold is still valuable even with a
Yeah.
small hole in it.
Yes, but it's not worth as
The best-
much.
The best thing
But I'm
is
not planning on getting rid of it anyway. I'm planning on keeping it.
the
So-
best thing is that
it's a good idea.
a gold coin has a hole in the middle that she could have threaded straight through, but didn't.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, let me put it this way. If you get 20 of those gold coins, that's about as much as most people get in a year.
Yes, but
Working
I
their
still
hands
have
to the
the
bone.
coin. I still have the gold. I still
But
have it.
because you put an extra hole in it, it's not worth as much.
But I don't plan on
Now
getting
it's
rid
only
of it.
worth the weight of the gold.
It's worth
Oh my god.
more to me in this form.
I'm just going to go over and just start
Oh, I
rubbing
could feed
Elfir's
those
shoulder,
kids.
being like, I
I could feed
understand your
those kids for
frustrations.
for a
I've-
month
I've-
on that.
I've been there, trust me, it's okay, everything is fine.
Yeah.
Elfia, she's a cleric. She makes everything holy.
She is still learning, it is fine, we'll get to her eventually.
And I kill things.
You know what? You know what? We'll table this one. We'll table this one.
Look, I
Just,
can see you're distressed. But
Try not to put any more holes in gold. Like, if you are thinking about putting a hole in a piece of gold, like, give it to someone who's begging on the street instead.
yes, but if I was to purchase something with that gold coin, like a beautiful necklace, people would think, "Oh, you've bought a beautiful necklace." I think of it as I've purchased or I've exchanged this gold coin that you're fond of for a necklace that means something to me.
She's got a point, Althea. That's a pretty cheap necklace, really.
And
Yeah,
just
that's fair.
imagine.
And
Just
it
think,
could,
Althea.
if I was desperate, it could be melted back down into the amount of gold.
Althea, it could have been a platinum coin.
Oh,
Good point. I'm going to keep that in mind.
Do you have platinum?
I'm going to focus on that. It could
Okay.
have been a platinum.
Althea, try and remember when you are awarded platinum to remind me of that, so we can check to see whether you notice or not.
Yep.
There's a slight hole in it.
Are we going to give our merry
Wait,
band
does
a
D&D
name?
have friendship checks now?
Now, while you've been having this interaction, you've walked the extra 5 or 10 minutes or so. You've got yourselves up, and you found yourself where you see yourself on the screen there, at the beginning there. Now, Remy, you would know that fairly hidden behind the bushes to your right was the shack where you met some shady individuals before your last job.
Okay.
You would know, Althea, that in this area, and for Moses, you probably two apart, in this area, I do not know what that bunga is. There's so many things up, I can't work it out. You would know in this area there is an old farmhouse that is thought to be empty. On that farming property, which is on the top, there's a couple of roads run through it, and there's a small pond. South of the pond is a reasonably sprawling, very, very old temple arrangement. For Moses, even you would know, but Althea, you definitely know that this is, and I wrote it down because I knew I'd forget the words for it. This is the primary temple of the Way. I don't think it's called the Way. I forgot.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me tell you exactly what it was. I knew I'd need these close. Of the Lonely Road. And the Lonely Road is a religious sect. You would know it very well, for Moses.
I walk a lonely road.
Saban the Risen is the patron of travellers and of wayfarers, and many, many people in this world pay homage to the Great Herder by choosing a life on the road, by foregoing, accommodation and housing, and just follow the tide or follow the road where their feet take them. Others who are forced into wandering take solace in the knowledge that Saban watches over them. So the Lonely Road is a network of travellers who transmit knowledge and information across across Vendalia or across Vendalin. So they sort of act as a neutral default sort of clandestine organisation, not equivalent to what we'd say the Harpers would be in Faerun, but a much less organised and directed version of that. So just information.
They're kind of like info brokers.
No, not brokers so much. Yes, but not so much with the broker side of it. It's just information available if you're part of the
Information
network, which isn't hard to
Yeah.
be a part of, but you're probably not going to be at the top tier very quickly. No really clear leadership known, but, and this is where I wrote a thing today, and I don't know what I did with it. There it is. Maybe. This place is known either officially or colloquially, you're not sure, as the end of the road.
Like the Crossroads, or this particular area within the Crossroads?
No, this particular the temple complex here is known as the end of the road. Now, the translation of it, though, the end is not the end as in the finish, but the end as in one end. So in
Oh, okay, like the end of a piece of string.
yeah, so a string has two ends. Sometimes they connect, sometimes they don't. So it's not like the end of the road, which would be used in the connotation of your order, more the end of the journey or the stop between journeys.
Yeah.
The rune that's up there is old and generally known, but it doesn't have a direct translation.
Have I come across this in like dealing with people? Because I guess the nature of my practice was quite, I guess, a spiritual as well as physical, helping people kind of deal with stuff and prepare for death. Have I encountered this group?
Absolutely, you'd be familiar with it. You'll have heard of this as a place. You probably wouldn't have necessarily known it was here.
Yeah.
But you would definitely know what it was. So when Althea or whoever points it out, I imagine it would be you, Althea, because you know the place best, points that out, you'd be like, oh, that's that. It's sort of like, if it wasn't this
stories.
one, this is the other one that you know of.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is old temple to crap.
Savan.
I forget the name. They're these
Savan.
sort
I
of
remember.
semi-religious group that go around and like they just tend to collect information and like give that information to people they come across and stuff. I don't know. Like I think a few of them came through the city a couple of years back. Yeah, they had some good gossip from around. Yeah, from around the world. Don't know how up to date it was, but
Yeah. I have had yes, I've had a few encounters with people who have told me stories. Sometimes it's hard to remember the details of stories until the context comes up, and but yes, I am passingly familiar.
And for Moses, you're definitely familiar. You've run into some of them. You've spoken to them. You've shared and received information.
I'm a wayfarer.
Yeah, you're not necessarily an acolyte of them, but they're your peoples. For you, Remy, you've heard of them, but they're people who do travelling. That's not really something that's been your wheelhouse until more recently.
No, it's been more of a dream though, breaking out and travelling.
So again, you would be aware of them. You might not have known that they're temple because it's strange. It's a big temple. It's well known by the people. So for Moses, you'd have known it was at the Crossroads. Like as soon as you recognise the thing, you're like, this must be where this is. Whereas Remy, you'd be like, well, I thought it was around somewhere. Oh, that's interesting. There it is. Those kind of things. So definitely known, but again, Althea, probably not your cup of tea necessarily, wandering the road for no main gain necessarily.
I've been more focused on like actually like having food.
Exactly.
No, this is totally my field of interest.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So there's that.
But,
But between where you are and that is the building that commands the Crossroads. And it's a tavern. It's always,
Of course it is.
It's always a tavern. And in this case, it's a very specific and well-known tavern. So that's what you see before you. And by see, like you can see some of it, you know it. This is probably not the most to-scale map in the universe.
yeah. And I'm assuming the stump would be the one that's marked out sort of center a little bit up.
It's either that one or the one that I'm suddenly realizing is just ever so slightly phallic.
Yeah. Trying to spot that one.
Top.
Oh,
top-
that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once you've seen it, you can't unsee it.
Yep.
And there's a nice wet area just below it.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, it's gonna be that. It's either gonna be that stump up there, or there's one a bit further up near the lake. So
Yeah. So it's probably to the time of night where, as Althea points that out, you can't actually see it. It would be in the middle of the day. It would be almost just over, at your range of view. But you know it's there, Althea. So it's as though you can see it.
just a second. Yeah, this will work. I just pick up a rock. cast light on it, and just huck it that way.
Ophir, is that stump at the bottom of a field though? In the corner?
Yeah, the one that's closest to us is in like the bottom corner of the field.
Yeah. And so
And that far one, the one with the lake.
it's at the bottom of a larger field as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll check both. We'll check the one, see where the light rock just landed, see a little bit up past that. That's the first stump. The other one's sort of same direction, a little bit more to the left.
Awesome. Let's line up and walk in slow motion because this is the first time we've walked into a town.
Yeah, we got to do the like all
Tarantino,
abreast and
yeah.
slow motion walk.
Now, it's not a...
No, I'm not doing that. I walk.
This doesn't count. This doesn't count as a town so much. This is there's an area of field and then tree and then there's this. It's
You're killing my
open.
buzz.
Still sort of part of the greater Sedendria, but that sort of where when you're like driving home from up north or down south and you reach that certain place where you're like, okay, now it's home.
Oh yeah, landmarks.
Yeah, absolutely. This would be that. Like as you come down, if you're coming from the east, you start going down the Perth Hills, or you arrive and you're like, okay, now we're home. I know there's still an hour of driving and traffic, but now I'm home. It's sort of it marks equivalent of that for Sedendria. As you,
I'll follow Elfia if she's walking off to it. Let's go and investigate the stump.
Remy, you sort of look to the side and you'd recognise that little shack again, and you sort of think that you should really check in at the very least. You're not sure why, but you just get that impression that it's worth checking in.
Okay.
So there's options here.
I'll head over.
So there's either that. So as Alfira, as you're throwing light at the, do you throw your light spell, or you've still got that little ball of light, and it's almost like a marble with this bit of light inside it?
No, I've just picked up a rock, cast light on it, and hucked it.
Cool. Roll me a.
Why waste a magic item when I can just do a cantrip?
Yep.
I don't know if this orb is one use or not, so need to get it identified first, and that costs money.
That's it. It's not. Remember that this map is not to scale, so you probably wouldn't be able to throw a stone that far. So it would go down a bit.
No, I am monk.
You know what? I get that. Roll a athletics or a strength check on it. Let's see how far you can hook it.
Yep. Athletics, or would I be able to do a martial arts roll?
Yeah, do it.
Yeah. No.
What
8.
martial arts is it that is the way of the throwing?
Hey, I've got
stones?
throwing darts.
Yeah, but darts are like large arrow type things. They're like halfway between a javelin and an arrow.
I've
They're
got
not like
throwing
little
darts. I can throw
Oh,
them
you got-
50 feet.
Yeah. It's just a whole different thing. I'm not saying you can't. I just don't know what martial art that is.
Yeah. Well, I'm not so much doing martial arts, is the thing.
It's okay. It's fine.
Oh, good.
Just teasing.
It's like a baseball pitch. Winds it back, sends it off.
Yeah. So it's like, even if it doesn't get particularly far, whenever I get up to it, I just grab it, throw it forward again.
All right. As you start to do that, you notice that Remy's not necessarily looking that way so much.
Yeah, I'm sliding off to the side. I'm just going to go and check out that barn.
Hey,
Hey, Remy.
Wait, no,
Wants
Remy.
to wait up?
I'll follow you. You're well lit.
Where? Well, the stones are. Where are you going?
I'm just going to check out that barn and have a bit of a sticky beak.
Alone?
You notice it now. So anyone who hadn't necessarily seen it, it's not easy to see just without looking for it. You notice that there's a little opening through the trees, about 2 or 3 feet that you could squeeze through, and there's some sort of structure behind it.
Yeah, pretty sure that place is abandoned.
Well, follow me along if you want, and we'll swing. I'll just want to swing through, seeing as we're pretty much walking past it.
Yeah, why not? We got time.
Okay. We'll go as a
We weren't
Tarantino
told-
line
Yeah.
to the shed.
Yeah, we weren't told a particular time schedule to get stuff done, so
Draws the loot. Dun 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 dun
Oh.
dun 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 dun. Just waiting, just gonna keep repeating those notes until we get
Yeah.
to the door.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
In that case, I will roll some things.
Oh dear.
I've got my hands free by my side.
As you walk up through the trees and you all get through, you still playing your instrument, Formosus, and standing at the door as you walk through, Remiel and Elfie, you notice this face too, is the Maze Lord himself.
Oh.
Arms crossed, sort of leaning on a banister, sort of starts clapping along to it to you, and then when you stop, Formosus goes, lovely tune that.
So yeah, the door opens and I'm just like, and I don't know who the Maze Lord is. I've never seen him before, so I just kind of keep playing, and then I kind of see the awkward situation. I just kind of just fade out.
Is this someone I would have heard of? Or...
Definitely. You'll definitely
Yep.
heard of the Maze Lord. You probably have been in debt to them
Oh, yeah.
in the past. And the Maze Lord,
Like
when you
big
stop
front
playing,
door, right?
Moses looks at you all and then goes,
Oh, goddamn it, Remy, what'd you walk us into?
I like that one.
Maze Lord?
I like this one. Come inside, you lot. Stop making a racket. Nice as it was.
Sure, just walk us straight up to the Maze Lord, why not?
Yes,
Yeah,
hello.
fine.
Formosus, did you hear that? It was nice. He said it was nice.
And I also heard that he is a lord. My lord, I am at your service.
Oh, no, really.
I am.
Oh, you
Formosus
don't want to make that
Lasili.
promise.
No, really. I like this one. What's your name?
I am Formosus Lasili, and I wish to play at your court one day, noble lord. It would be an honor.
You don't see
He's
many
very good.
tieflings around, but
I'm sorry.
you got some words on you. A tiefling. What, do we not call you that anymore?
I've never been called that.
He sort of
It's not part
pauses, and looks at the rest of you. Sort of, is this guy for real?
Look, mate, this Formosus, we just call him Formosus, try not to focus too much on the rest.
Seems fair. In you come then.
What is race? What is the physical form anyway? It all passes. It all decays in the end.
Oh.
He's a fairy. He's a faun, just with red skin. And
If we're going to go into
Hooves.
that at this time of the evening, we're going to need some stronger liquor. Seriously, in the door, shut your mouth. Not threatening, but just like, could you not be having this really loud conversation on my secret little doorstep? Come inside.
we'll do both. I'll come in and
Yep.
shut my mouth.
And have the liquor.
As you
I've
walk in,
just got my hand on my axe.
as you walk in,
Not
Remy,
threateningly, just, it's there.
you notice one person that you know out of the as over the next few minutes you notice there's somewhere between 4 and 6 other individuals there, and you recognize one. You don't know them, you haven't worked directly with them, but part of the network.
Keith?
Yeah, it might have been Keith or it might have been Daryl, I can't remember.
Daryl.
Ancillary characters with no name are always going to be
If I
Keith
don't
or
know,
Daryl
I
or
just
Barry
make
or
up a
someone.
name.
It's like a Daryl. I'm like,
I pretend I know someone and just make up a name, and hopefully they correct me and tell me the real one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Daryl was shifty.
But yeah, none of them come in to actually talk to you because you're engaged, of course, with the Maze Lord. The Maze Lord, for those of you who don't know, is the default kingpin of the slums. So the Rat's Maze is the slum area where the Hanged Vagrant's Toenail is, and this is the boss. Like it's the top don in Sedendria.
It's entirely possible that I may possibly owe him.
Entirely possible, but again,
Everybody owes him.
he's the boss. He
This
doesn't.
is how crime works.
He's the boss. He doesn't know or care until you don't pay.
Yeah.
Well, I do have in my background that I've got a few minor enemies who want revenge on me for not throwing a fight.
You wouldn't. This wouldn't be him. The Maze Lord is. You
No,
would know
I would
well.
probably be smarter than that.
The Maze
But
Lord
Althea,
runs.
I've seen you throw in a fight.
Yeah, you wouldn't throw one of the Maze Lord's fights. Like the Maze Lord is the guy is the guy who organizes the fights. So
Yeah.
like he wouldn't be the one to tell you to throw it. At least not openly. Like it would be unclear enough as to whether it was them or not.
Yeah, and if he did say for me to throw a fight, I would probably be smart enough to take the fall.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If the Maze Lord came up and went, "I want you to throw the fight," you might show up to the fight, but you'd probably make sure you had 1 hit point at the time.
Yeah, like I'd probably have a few drinks beforehand just to numb the pain of the beating I'm about to cop.
That's it.
So, Mr. Lord, we got a note to come and meet here. Was that for you?
A note. I don't do things that are so inelegant. And he passes around the drinks that were promised. You don't have unscheduled discussions without a drink. For Moses, you would know that. There's certain rules about hospitality, after all. And you actually notice that straight away, that the rules of hospitality are being followed there. And he says, "So, why is it that I've got a wandering minstrel and some cronies knocking on me door and making a racket at this time of the evening?
Cronies?
I'm interested." Again, none of it's said with any venom. He's not being threatening at all, actually. Almost threateningly the opposite. Like when someone who's supposed to be intimidating is so congenial?
It's super nice and just accommodating, and you're like, oh god, this is worse.
Oh god, Rez, like, am I standing on plastic?
Like the dude
Yeah.
in Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, If you hold something back, I kill you. If I think you're lying, I kill you. In fact, Mr. Bubble and Squeak, you're going to have to work something hard to stay alive. Now, Mr. Bubble and Squeak, you may enlighten me. Not quite as threatening, but in the same vein, as Urkel's vein, Tyrant's vein.
We're a new group. We've just come together and we're looking for work. You can call us Formosa and the Enthusiastic Nihilists.
No, that's... No.
Again, it is formal sus, not formal sus, not
My
formal
mistake. Up. Too many of these free drinks, sorry.
Was it Formosus and the what? And the...
Nihilistic, enthusiastic nihilists.
Yeah, no,
No?
Like, do we get to discuss the name first?
We could workshop it. I've been waiting for us to get around a campfire and
And the Maze Lord goes...
along.
The Maze Lord goes and looks at you, Alfir, and goes, "Oh no, that's it." And then looks at you, Remiel, and just gives a quick wink.
Oh no. Why do people keep on coming up with names for me?
So
What about the morose acrobats? That
pale
was my other one I
ghost.
was thinking of.
Yeah. You get the
Please
impression...
don't call me that.
You get the impression that they're all messing with you, Alfir, and it might not
Yeah.
stick. But you know enough about names that it just might too. Just sort of depends. You-
But I haven't learnt the lesson of if you don't want a name to stick, show no displeasure in it.
Yeah. You just
I
make it
haven't
worse.
quite learnt that lesson yet. Because like we all know in real life that the fastest way to have a nickname stick is to give any
Yeah.
hint that you hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like Elfie hasn't
Thank
learnt
you,
that
Moose.
lesson.
Rory
She's learnt a
Breaker.
lot of lessons, but not that one.
Absolutely. Sorry, my in the background, my mind was trying to work out the name of that guy in Lock, Stock, and Moose just told us it's Rory Breaker.
Yeah.
That's it. We must watch that again. Anyway, so and jumps into a little bit of an impasse in the discussion. Drinks are had, pleasantries and jokes are run around, and then he goes, "Well, I've not got much work for you now, but you pop back in a day or so, and I'm sure something will come up. Everybody roll me a perception check. Remy, you may do so with advantage.
11.
I've got a 13.
Nope.
Ooh! 19.
I got an 11.
Alfia, your standoffishness almost pays off in this case, but not quite. You're sitting there and you're about to take your second drink, and you're just like, there's something not quite right about this guy. And then you remember that it's a mob lord, and you're like, of course there's something not quite right, and you let it pass. But you definitely had that nod of like, oh yeah, the mob lord's dodgy. It's like, this guy's dodgy. And I suppose he's a mob lord? There's just that little...
So it's like, it could go either way.
Yeah, it's almost like there's something that you're not quite registering that doesn't feel quite right.
Could I sort of like try to just examine him without looking like I'm examining him?
Yeah, go ahead. Make a roll at disadvantage.
Yep.
Because you're trying to do it.
Insight?
Yeah, inside, but you've got to do it at a disadvantage because you're being
Yeah.
super...
I'm trying to be subtle.
yeah.
First roll is 16. Second roll is less than that, 10.
Yeah, so neither of those would have made it.
Nah.
If there was anything to make, of course.
Yeah. Although, but no, this is gone away for later.
I'm just going to write down... I think we're definitely going to throw it out there for your... If you're all right with it, folks, we'll throw out there for some suggestions on the group name.
Yeah.
So we'll make that some sort of a goal.
Excellent.
Alrighty, so it gets to the end where, yes, there will be work, and yes, you have suitably entertained the mob boss such that you will be getting an opportunity at jobs. However, you will get the impression that you'll be thoroughly vetted between now and then, and by the time you leave, Remy and Althea, it's made known subtly to both of you that you are known as people who are already a part of the network. Remy, you knowingly. Althea, you as a performer in the pit fights.
Yep. I probably assumed that Maze Lord would have had something to do with that.
Yeah, it's pretty widely
But
known
never
that the
had
Maze
confirmation.
Lord's organisation organises, runs, and oversees the pit fights. There's also they don't take everything from it. They put the opportunity out there and make lots of money from it, but they're not hands on in running every little thing.
Yeah.
So the one in the docks the other week wasn't the Maze Lord's people organising it, although you can guarantee some of the Maze Lord's people were involved. But it was another little group that, you know, the Maze Lord's big enough that they don't need to have the petty infights. They're in charge.
Yeah.
Yeah. And by about 8 p.m, the Maze Lord looks up and sort of goes, well, I've got a bit of business that I've got to get on with. So, if you'd be all so kind as to fuck off now.
Gladly.
And I'm just going to pause there for a second and remind you that this stream usually is one where I won't swear, except when I'm in character. And so just a belated language warning on session 0. Very occasional it will be from me. I'm not stopping anyone else in the game from swearing. I'm just going to minimize it myself because of the potential audience. So I apologize for that, and in advance if there are any more. And back in the room. And so you're ushered out, and you do notice, if you want to take a look around, you will you'll notice there are 6 others in there.
Okay. Daryl, Keith,
Joey.
Joey, yeah.
What are the cups made out of?
Pretty basic wood. Really nicely carved.
Yeah, I'm not pocketing one.
No.
No.
Good move. And if you looked underneath, you can see they're all marked.
Yeah.
let's wander over to that tavern. It's nighttime. Or are we still worrying about stumps and fields and business?
We can go to the tavern.
I don't feel like there's a rush.
No,
I
man.
mean, the stump will still be there, right? If this mysterious figure is saying that we're fated to be on this adventure together, blah blah blah, then surely it can wait until after the, like when it's daylight, or maybe
Yeah, that's fair.
when we've rested a little bit more. It's been a long walk.
Let's go into this tavern, pay for a comfortable night, and have dinner.
I don't. I only have the necklace.
Only have
I can-
necklace. Only
Yeah,
have
no,
necklace
you-
money.
This is
It's
the
okay. 4 mosters is good for it.
Oh,
Yeah.
little do
I'm
you
go-
know
I'm
that
not gonna
my
argue.
reputation at the Crossroads is legendary, I think.
Is it good legend though, or
Yeah.
bad legend?
I don't remember. It's been a while since I've come back through this way.
Any publicity is good publicity, right?
Like, exactly right.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
I mean,
Okay.
they definitely let me perform again, which is nice, but
Oh well, I can maybe enhance your performance with some effects.
I mean, we have that whole routine that we've pretty much perfected.
I mean, we've got that down. So I mean, your performance is my performance, right?
Oh, remind me when we get in there too. I've got that song I wanted to run by you.
Yes.
Workshop it.
All right. As you walk up, you notice that there's a bunch of buildings here with a laneway before them and a laneway after them. Those of you who've been here before would know that that's extra sort of, not necessarily accommodation, but possible multi-purpose use from the tavern. Everybody roll me a perception check.
Not great. 7.
11.
Tired. 6.
17.
Remy,
Dark and
you're looking towards the tavern when all of a sudden you hear the noise of people, not in the tavern, but away a little bit to the north.
To the north. Oh yeah, in the field.
In the field, yeah.
Yeah.
no. Gold hunt.
Yeah, I think there's an exorcism going on up in the field there, dancing around the maypole or something. Who knows?
Ooh.
Yeah, but that's also near the stump.
So you hear it's a sort of the noise of it doesn't sound like an outright fight, but there's a noise of discontent, an argument or jeering, those kind of sounds.
Yeah, I'm going to try and sneak up closer to where that noise is coming from.
Okay, roll me a stealth check, please, Elfia.
Ugh. Nope, that was... Oh, the 7 and the 1 on this dice looks about the same. That's a 12.
Excellent. Okay, so you get up to about here. You think you're pretty well hidden there. And you notice about here, right up around the back of the old shack, which does look quite dilapidated and boarded up.
Yep.
It's well known to not necessarily be in use. The field that it's in is fallow, but it's kept trimmed by the tavern just because it looks nice. But it is part of a larger estate. And you notice that there are a group of individuals all crowded around something. Another individual looks really a bit smaller. Not teeny tiny, but smaller. And roll me a perception check.
Do we notice that she's gone?
Yeah, you definitely notice that she
Although
starts.
my
4.
perception check was really bad, so maybe I don't.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, you notice there's something that they're crowded around Alfia, but you can't really see what. And the ire is being directed at that.
I would like to try to dope monk shit my way up on top of the building, but on the other side from where they are.
Are you going to do that and try and maintain your stealth?
Yes.
So you're going to need to give me a stealth check and an acrobatics check.
Yep. Okay, this stealth check is 14.
Somehow, this dope monk shit is quieter than you just creeping. You are actually...
Yeah.
You are actually obviously quieter when you are dope muck shitting than you are when you're walking.
And the acrobatics is only a 10.
You manage to climb onto the roof.
Yeah, not quite as not
Yeah.
quite as elegantly as I was hoping.
You do that thing where you try and step off the side of the wall and then get up, but it just makes a bit of a creak, so you kind of abort at the last minute and actually have to grab and scramble up.
Yeah.
The rest of you, are you going or?
So do we hear the noises now?
Yeah, once Remy hears, he points them out, and that's how Elfie hears.
Yeah. So I'm going to get
Elfie
over.
in sight.
So I'm going to go over to. So if the top of the map you've got is north, I'm going to go over to the east side of that roof.
Yep.
Just so I know that any shadows aren't going to be cast over to where the group were.
Yeah, and it's nighttime now. It's probably 8:30 in the evening.
Yeah. And just flash a light cantrip on one of my darts, just to get our group's attention.
You saw they saw you head off, and so they've been watching. So
and I'm going to just sort of point, like sort of gesture as in like going around the east side.
Formosus just holds up his hands like this. Just what?
And you see Remy sort of walk past you. He's already there. He's been tracking. He's been tracking Althea, and as soon as that happens, recognizes what to do.
Yeah. And I'm going to creep up to the edge above that group.
Are you going to do so quietly, Remy?
No, I might. Oh, I'm on the other side of the. Are they the spider thing? Are they?
Yeah, they're that little token there.
Yeah. Okay. So my main purpose was just to make sure I've got Althea in sight in case Althea runs into troubles. So follow along.
Yep.
And if I can go up to that corner underneath Althea.
Yep. You can get there without much
and
trouble.
be ready for action.
Okay.
And say.
And the other, Formosus and Tanare, what are you doing?
I sit there. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Tanare.
Oh, so we see the light, right? And we hear the sounds.
You can hear them there. They've got little torches, like little burning torches that they're holding up, and there's a ruckus.
Was Remy too kind of stealthy and quick for me to really?
No, Remy just sort of didn't walk loudly, but just sort of wandered behind. Like there's obviously enough cover there that you can walk around that quietly. So, they're not listening for anyone.
I just feel Formosus.
Yeah.
Remy, he's going. I think we should follow.
Well, I'm not. See, I was thinking about it, and she was just like this. So does that mean they want to go around the building? Why don't we just take the path?
I know. I don't understand either. Can we have this argument while walking closer, so we're not stealthy at all?
100%.
Yep, that tracks.
We're both just I don't understand. I mean, why are they doing it like this? It doesn't. Our voices echo or something.
Are you going to go to the left of it rather than following the instructions? Go to the right as well.
Oh,
I'm leaning to the left because I'm under the assumption that if she wants us to go around this house, why don't we just use the perfectly good path?
Yeah, I think we follow the road. I mean, that's what they're for, right?
Okay, when you get past that tree, roll me a perception check.
Oh dear. Right.
Oh, I was so close to a nat 20.
Man.
Oh.
5.
16.
Okay. Tanare, you're busy going wondering why everybody's being all sneaky all of a sudden. But Formosus, you sort of look up and you notice a collection of backs there, all looking a bit aggressive. You've seen a back look aggressive before. You can see when people are crowding around something or someone and there's arguments going on. But you look straight through it and you see something smaller than a halfling, but not by much, and furry. And it's brandishing a stick there's just a little bit more than a twig, really, and it's backed up against the wall, and sort of as defensive as it can be.
I'm going to creep up to the west side of the roof and sort of like just sort of crouch there and try to listen in without poking my head over the edge.
Okay, roll me a stealth check as you go close.
Yep.
I'm just going to
10.
start loudly kind of whistling a tune as I walk towards them. My eyes are narrowed because I'm like, oh, they're picking on a critter. Oh, they're about to mess with the wrong hombre.
Okay, Elfia, that gives you advantage, so you can roll your stealth again, so that'll be enough distraction.
Brilliant. That's better. That's a 22.
Yeah, and so like you as you start moving, you slip, but as you slip, you actually hear Formosus, and you're like, oh, and so you take your time and just come over, and you can sit above directly. What you do hear though is that the group of people are arguing with one another and throwing commands and insults at this rabbit person. And you see it too, Famos. You're like, that's a rabbit, but it be standing up. It's too big for a rabbit, and it's standing up.
Do I get a sense of sentience from the rabbit?
100%. It is brandishing a sharpened stick that's, that long. It's like a twig in defensive mode, and it's not talking, but it's sort of...
Hey, what are you doing?
A couple of them stop and turn around and go, oi, piss off. We got this covered. Roll me a perception check.
Oh boy! Natural 20. It's only a 22 though.
Hell yeah.
They're not...
It's a heron.
They're not all wasted, but none of them have not had a beer. You've seen drinkers before. You've seen a drunken mob before. And this is about 2 swallows and an argument away from it. And you actually notice on a couple of them fear, but not the run away fear. It's a fear that you've seen before. It's a what the hell are you? I don't know what you are, so you're obviously bad. They don't know what they're looking at either. Roll me a history or arcana check.
They're both the same. Only a 9.
It seems you're not getting that feeling from this creature. It looks familiar. You can't quite place us from this difference, but for some reason it looks familiar.
Yeah, tiny creature in danger. Gotta go help it.
Go.
Friends, I feel like that you have just made it my business.
Drunken.
I don't know.
Drunken mob.
I'm going to have to ask you very politely that you come back into the tavern and enjoy my show and have a drink, or else we are going to have a problem.
Problems.
Okay, so you all hear this. Like, he's not being quiet at all. So you're sitting around there, Remy, like sort of peering, and you just hear Formosus in his most performative voice, performativing, and you're like, we're not
I'm
doing
trying
like this.
to mirror the language, like after listening to what's the Lord's name?
The
Maze
Lord.
Listen to the Maze Lord. I'm like, oh, that was good. Let's channel that a little bit into this performance.
Roll me
If
a
everyone is
performance
starting
check.
to look over at Formosus, I would like to drop down from the roof on the north side and try to get up behind one of them.
That is a 19 plus 6 DM for a 25 on that performance check.
Everybody who is poking things and waving flames at the rabbit person stops and turns to you. It's like, what was it? Oh. You sounded like even you from up there, Alfie, you're like, man, that was the Maze Lord. That was good. That was a good impression. And not exactly in voice sound, but definitely in tone and definitely in holding court.
Yeah. Yeah, got the cadence right.
You literally drop down and where you're standing over the rabbit person, like to its side, and you can then choose if you want to move around. You can do another little hop, and you're there.
Yeah, I would like to move around behind one of them.
Are you staying sneaky?
Yes.
Roll me a staying sneaky check for you. Drop down.
Advantage because they're all looking at Formosus?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. Best one out of those two is a 10.
You drop down here,
Yep.
and the rabbit notices you, but
Yep.
you can move if you want.
Yeah. I'll move around behind the... Yeah, that one.
And the rabbit sort of twitches up and looks at you, and when you don't go for it, it just sort of turns back to them. It doesn't say anything.
And I just casually pull out that really fancy hand axe and shift it around so I've got the blunt end forward.
Yeah, so they're not watching you yet. They're all looking at Formosus. Oi!
So
Can I walk up too at this point?
Yeah. And so
I'm just going to walk. I'm going to walk in the open.
Yep.
And try to basically give aid, like an advantage or assistance to Formosus in his in what's it called, intimidation.
Yeah. So you walk.
And
You walk up and you're standing between the rabbit and Althea, and all of you are looking very obviously like you're not about to cause harm to the pretty bunny.
Don't touch the beast, my friend.
And they're all like, "There's a freak! Look at it! It's like a rabbit, but it's like a werehair."
who said that? I'm going to cast.
You
Vicious
know, I've
Mockery
been
on
called
them
freak
Yeah.
before.
and be like, "No, sir. I believe that you are the freak," and I cast vicious mockery on him.
Okay.
Yeah, I would like
Yeah.
to. Can I make because Formosus and I have kind of done teamwork a little bit for fun on the road. Can I realize that this is what he's doing, and as he is preparing, I know that it's going to be a great mock, so I will cast thaumaturgy at the same time to enhance his voice.
Ooh, so I'm like, "No, you," and then the "you" gets accented, are the freak, and I cast
And-
vicious mockery.
There's also laughter around,
You!
like just
Other
in the
Yeah.
background, like
Okay. What do we do? I've got to roll a save,
Wisdom
don't I?
saving throw of 14, please, sir.
No worries. Just bear with me. I'm just going to set up our. There we go. Set up just in case there happens to be an encounter. Right?
Nobody picks on my fey friends but me.
What did you roll in a perception? You rolled a 9. You haven't got the Fey on it yet.
I just assume rabbit person is pretty magical.
yes, he's a Herongon.
Yeah, never been
Werehair.
seen in this realm before by people. Like if you don't have experience in the Fae, you wouldn't know what a handgun was. It is one.
Oh, okay. Like not even heard of them like through reading and stuff.
Yeah, you would probably have heard that a thing like it's one of those.
like mythological beings kind of.
Yeah,
thing,
you'd be like, that looks like one of those bedtime story things more than
Yeah,
it's one of them. Like you'd be like, oh, it's real. So yeah, and you'd need to roll to see what that is.
I saw a drunken mob ganging up on someone who is half their size and calling it a freak,
Yeah, that's
which
about right.
is very relevant for Althea's
Yeah.
past. So
What was
doesn't matter.
What was my save? Sorry, Brendo.
Wisdom save of 14 you need to make.
Abject failure. So literally, what do you say? You say you're the freak, and you see
No,
just sort of.
you are the freak. The "you" gets accented with the vicious mockery and the thaumaturgy, and he takes 3 psychic damage.
And there's also whispers and laughter in the shadows and stuff.
Okay, so if you sort of, does he have to run away from you, or is that?
It just gives him disadvantage on his next attack roll before the end of its turn.
And he's like, what? And I want you all to roll initiative, please.
I'm bugging them on the head.
Let's go.
Initiative 20.
Very
Oh,
nice.
let's go.
3.
21.
Oh.
Hell yeah.
And Remy?
5.
I would say I feel sorry for these dudes, but I do not. They said the F word.
I do not.
Alright, just let me set this up.
Very.
Oh god.
I'm using the encounter tracker on D&D Beyond, so it's in beta, so it seems to work okay, but there's still a bit of setup. It doesn't automatically load yet your characters, unfortunately. I'm just setting that up now, putting your elf points in that in. 14. And Tanare. All right. I am going to roll for each of the baddies. There's more than that. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, there are 6. So there are 6 of them in total. I'm going to roll for each of them to see whether they are intimidated.
Did you hear that,
By
everyone?
everything?
They're baddies. That means we can do what we like.
Oh, I'm standing behind one of them. I've got
just need
my
to
hand
leave
axe
one of
out and
them
reversed down by my side.
Somewhat still
I'm
standing.
thinking of going for the nuts.
And hey, we might have the little rabbit fight with us as well, which would be wicked.
Yeah.
Well, one of them was a natural 20, but because one of them got firmly roasted, one of them's gonna be at disadvantage. So the highest one gets taken off. So literally one of them, the one here farthest away, one of them will get a reaction if they has access to a reaction. All the rest, no.
Yep. Sweet.
So they'll be pretty much at disadvantage for this round. Formosus, you have the floor.
Well, I'm probably going to... On the guy that said freak, I will cast command and tell him to grovel and say you are very sorry.
So command is a what save
It's
is
another
that?
wisdom saving throw of 14.
Nope, fails. Gets right down.
So with grovel, the target will fall prone and end its turn, and I just want him to start apologizing apathetically for calling us a freak and this whole thing.
So it starts apologizing to you, and then then they turn to the rabbit thing. It's like, I'm sorry, I called you a freak. Just the ears, and I don't know how to drink. And how long does it last?
Until the end of the turn.
Awesome.
Yeah, basically burns their turn.
Yeah.
Anything else?
So I'll just start
Grovel, I
slowly
believe they're technically
walking and just be
prone.
like, I will give you all the chance to follow your friend's opinion and apologize, or else this is about to get really messy.
Only one of all the rest of them just sort of put their hands up, but one of them goes, "What'd you do to them all, mate?" And doesn't give in. Essentially, all the rest do.
I end my turn and allow for my comrades to beat the crap out of him.
Okay, so the one with the
We
orange
tried.
here is the one that you got. I'm going to call that one Spy. I'm just going to have them match the names of what I've got here. All right. Initiative 20 was Bandit. Yeah, which one did I say? That one?
It was also me.
Yes. What's your...
Dexterity is 3.
Yeah, so you'll go
Well,
first.
dexterity modifier is 3. Score is 17.
Yeah. So Yeah, so you may go first.
So which one said, "What do you do to my mate?"
This one down here, a bit away from you.
I'm going to just walk up past the others, up behind them.
Okay, hold on. Which way are you going?
And-
Inside or outside?
Yep.
Because they're going to be at disadvantage. They'll still have access to reactions if they want them.
Inside, I am going for the gonads.
All right, roll your attack. So you're going for non-lethal?
Back of the axe.
Yeah.
So blunt side.
Yeah, cool.
Non-lethal to the person, possibly more lethal to the babies.
Yes.
Got him.
The amount that one's drunk, it's probably been done for him.
I completely whiff it.
As you walk past, one just shoves you in form of reaction. Doesn't get enough to actually get their reaction. You're sort of only barely out, so they give you a shove, and it just throws you off a little bit.
Well, he shoved me, so flurry of blows.
Okay, it was Thug A there that did it.
Yep, Thug A is getting a headbutt.
Go for it.
So, unarmed attack first. That's better.
Yeah, that hits.
Yep. And that is 1d4 plus 3. Max damage, 7. So as he pushes me, I just stumble, grab him with my left arm, and headbutt right to the temple.
And
Or no, right to the bridge of the nose.
do you turn back to the bandit or stay at the thug?
Yeah, then I turn back to Bandit B and just go for a haymaker.
You don't even see the thug, but everyone else does, and the thug just starts bursting blood out of his nose. And Greg's like, and
That's a 24 to hit.
that's a hit. Is that a natural?
Get him, go, get him.
No, 19.
19. Okay, cool. And so that's bandit.
And that is 6 damage. Yep, 6 bludgeoning. And just yeah, yeah. You see, what happened is the easy way out.
His again head down. It's like face. He doesn't really say much else. But he goes to go up and punch you, but he's holding his face and literally misses his turn.
Yep.
Thug A, on the other hand, didn't like that very much. And
That's okay.
it's has a doesn't have its weapon on it, but it's got a stick that's on fire.
Yep.
Fairly heavy, and so it attacks with that. Doesn't sort of knocks the fire out a little bit. Going for non-lethal damage to it, sort of trying to beat you up rather than kill you.
Yep.
22 to hit.
Oh yeah, that does it.
Well, Sid, leave us alone. We're just having fun.
Yeah, doesn't look like fun.
3 damage.
3, yeah, that's fine.
Now, are you right to do the damage on yours? Oh, hold on. Let me just see if this works.
Yeah, I've done it.
Okay.
Should tick down in a second in theory on the stream.
I'm just trying to see. Yeah. Oh, what happened there? There it is. So it didn't work on there. But sorry for the inconvenience here for a moment. I'm just trying to see how the systems work.
Technical issues. We resume normal programming.
That's it. I'm just refreshing the page. Yeah, so it's come down in D&D Beyond. It'll probably take a while on the D&D Beyond connecty thing. But anyway.
Yeah. I'll type what I'm in the chat.
Fantastic. All right. So the thug's pretty happy with themselves. Reckons they've done a fair bit of damage. Alfie, you obviously know otherwise. He's like, yeah, take that. Guard decides they'll have a go as well.
Mm.
Just a punch for this one.
Yep.
But complete, really bad form. Obviously not someone that usually gets in bar fights. Misses completely.
Yeah.
Scout. Scout sort of... hold on, let's... just going to see what they're attacking. Roll a 6. So no, Scout's going to get in on the Althea action and have a go as well. Also a haymaker. You're not even looking at them, but you're just sort of lithe and moving enough that they're not connecting at all.
Yeah. Just, okay, they're probably trying to punch me in the back. I'll move.
Yeah, that's it. Spy, on the other hand, is groveling on the ground, so that's Remy's turn.
Oh, okay. There's one on the ground, so prone, is that right? Or
No, no one's prone. Oh, yeah, the spy is prone.
orange one?
Yeah.
Okay. And there's Thug A's at Althea's back.
Yeah, essentially, like, Althea's holding court with everyone except Scout and Spy. Essentially, Thug A is the only one that was probably out of her range. Not her reach, but out of her eye shot.
I'll step in between the rabbit folk and Althea then into that breach.
Yep.
And then go. Oh, I'm not engaging anyone right now, am I?
No. The rabbit folk, as you do that, sort of drops the stick and jumps down onto all fours and bounds right around, like staying really, really close to the house and just sort of bounds around.
Yeah.
Out of sight.
Well, I might just throw a dart then from where I am if I can get to the Scout. Who looks easiest to hit? Are they very dodgy?
None of them are paying attention to you at all, really. They're all a little bit drunk. Probably not going to be particularly difficult to hit.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'll wind up with a dart and I'll just throw a dart through one of their hands. So aiming for no vital.
Yeah. So
organ or
non-lethal.
anything, no
I can do that.
arteries.
Yep.
So it's non-lethal,
Cool.
but it should hurt.
So you're going for Scout. Scout's the most open, followed by Spy, who is prone though, so you'd be at disadvantage.
Yeah, I'll go for Scout.
Okay.
And it's going to be a aiming shot.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it was an 18 and I rolled a 4. Okay, that's going to miss with a 5, I believe.
5 misses, yep.
Yep. And now that I've got my eye in, I'll action surge and try it again.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll just try the same again.
Okay.
I'm a class 11. Bit grim.
It sort of glances off.
Yep.
But because you're going for the hand, it just sort of misses. You know,
Sure.
Feels like a bit of a paintball there, and they're like, ow! Doesn't do anything.
Yeah, no worries.
Doesn't seem to do any damage though.
No effective damage. That's right.
Yeah. Is that it?
Precision strike, right? Yeah.
And I'll step in
Into melee there.
just to soak some damage.
Excellent. Tanare.
I will step behind Formosus
Uh-huh.
and cast Bane
Okay.
on.
Nice.
Which one is the like the biggest?
The one that looks to be most together is Spy.
Okay, so
Except for the
Spy-
fact that they're groveling.
Yeah.
Thug A is the one that managed to hit me.
Yeah.
Okay, so whoever, Thug A, okay, because they actually hit and did damage. So
Yeah.
and So Scout is. Oh, I keep going to click on it, like, and it's
Yeah,
like, wait.
I've been trying to do the same.
Thug A,
Um,
Thug Ace, Scout, and Thug B seem the next level of strong. The guard.
yeah, basically just whoever looks biggest and toughest or has done damage.
Yeah. So Thug A, Thug B, Scout, and then Spy is
That's what I was
the biggest
thinking.
and strongest.
So I need 3. So I'll go with actually, I'll go Thug A, Thug B, and Scout. So they need to make a charisma saving throw 13.
Thug A makes it with an 18. The Spy just completely caves, just sort of stops groveling and just sort of lies on the ground going, "Aah!" just sort of crying.
So
And
oh sorry, yeah, you've got one more.
so I still got to do Thug B. As does Thug B.
Okay, so if they have an attack roll or a saving throw, they roll a d4 and subtract the number from their roll.
Yeah. Oh, so it's only
From
3
the
you
next
can do, not 4, isn't it?
It's 3. It's
Yeah.
I think it's 4 when you cast
Yeah.
it at a high level.
Yeah,
So
4
Thug-
went upcast.
Thug A,
But
Scout, and Spy are all baned.
Oh no, one passed, right?
Nope.
Does Bane have a saving throw?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
charisma. I
Yeah.
thought you said one got an 18.
I thought Thug A got through, and it was Scout and Spy that were baned.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
If
sorry,
I remember right.
I think you might be right.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Thug A's okay. It's a bit far away. So saw the other two go down and sort of, I don't know, steeled themselves against it. Anything else?
Yeah, the rabbit went around the building, right?
Yeah, out of sight.
Oh, yeah, because it's the other side of the building.
Yeah.
Yeah, in that case, I'm not gonna. I really want to go check on the rabbit. But I will not leave these people. So, yeah, that's all.
Okie dokie. And Thug B, looking down the barrel of Althea and just two-handed punch, tries to go over the head. 19 to hit.
Yeah, that does it. AC 16.
7 damage. Absolute
seven.
haymaker. Just gets you right on the side of the head. Really good. So, like, non-lethal, but definitely aiming to knock the stuffing out of you.
That one tickled. You can see that Elfie is actually a bit jarred from that one.
Sort of looks like Althea sort of looks like they did like she did when you first met her at the fight for Moses and Tanare. And at this moment, Remy, you recognise where you'd seen Althea before. You suddenly, like, it's been a couple of days and you've sort of crossed paths a few times and you've suddenly gone, that's why you're familiar.
Oh,
And did you make money on that or lose money on that?
I lost money on it.
Yeah.
Well done.
You lost money on the last time this happened. But not because she went down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at
Were
that,
you in the audience?
Well,
Yeah.
you would bet against her.
yeah, while we were doing it, Anthony was in the chat and threw in gold in the bets, and I put that in as canon.
Yep.
For Moses, your turn.
Alrighty. So, I'm going to walk over, with purpose towards the spy on the ground. I'll use my bonus action to give Althea bardic inspiration and be like, "You got this, ghost. This is nothing."
Just rage.
Exactly. That's my bardic inspiration. I know if I need you in peak fighting condition, I need to piss you off.
Yep. I'm gonna need to eventually multi-class into Barbarian, which I may actually do at some point.
That would be so. I've never seen a barbarian monk before. That just
It's
sounds
so good.
amazing.
Just
Anyway,
3 levels of Barbarian. You
and
get you get that bear totem.
for my action, I'm going to walk over to the guy that's on the floor
Yep.
because I hate him, and I'll start like muttering a Sylvan chant, and if I'm allowed to, I'll put my boot on him, and as I cast Tasha's Hideous Laughter, I'll go, "Oh, you thought that was funny? Well, how's about I give you something to laugh about?" And yeah, I'll like put my foot on him and cast Tasha's Hideous Laughter.
That's charisma as well.
It's Wisdom of 14
Minus a d4.
minus a d4.
Doesn't really matter.
Excellent. So
That's what I like to hear.
So he's immobilized because he can't stop laughing, and I like to think that for most this is twisted. You know, it's the hideous laughter, so it's like the Joker's laughing gas.
So yeah,
He's like freaking out, but he just can't stop laughing on the floor, rolling around. And I just got my boot on him, just reveling in it.
just for interest, a roll of 4, so that wisdom check of 5 plus the -4 means I don't roll a 1. And so literally, as you do that, you just see it holding his face, and you see some tears just dropping down the side, and you hear...
Loving it.
No, Perth D&D, we haven't worked out how to get the rolls to show on screen yet. That's the thing I'm working on. And you just hear this... It's a laugh, but
Yeah.
it's a pretty cry-heavy laugh. It's just like...
It's just the Formosus laughing gas.
He's trying to hold it in, but it's coming out in retches.
Yeah.
Like if you've had far too much to drink and you just can't stop the vomit. You know, just at that end where you can't stop it from coming out and you have no control anymore. And it's that same level of pain.
And the good thing is that it's concentration for a minute, so he has to keep laughing until he makes the save. The sadistic side of the Fae is shown today.
All right, is that you?
That is my turn.
What is all?
That is all. You know, it's just I told a funny joke, obviously.
All right, Bandit sees this, but he's drunk, so he's not going to back down by anything at the moment. He's gonna punch stuff until he's on the ground. And so he punches at the nearest thing, which happens to be you, Althea. Hits you, but yeah, literally you just stop it with your body. You feel it, like you know when you punch your fist and you can feel it, but there's no pain.
I heard someone say my stage name and suddenly became immune to pain out
That's
of
it.
just
You just went, "Poof,"
being
and so you just stand there
annoyed.
and doom, straight on the chest, and you take
Really.
it. And you might just slowly look over from the bandit and look back, but that would be about it.
Yeah.
And
Nothing hurts as much as hearing someone call me the Pale Ghost.
it's your turn.
Yeah. Which one hit me with the double? Yeah, which one hit me with the double hammer fist?
Thug B.
Thug B. Yeah. You're getting the back end of my hand axe to the face.
Do it.
Now, depending on your roll,
19.
you don't need it. But yeah, if you roll low, you get a d6 that you can add to whatever you want.
So 19
That's a hit.
to hit. Ooh, 8 damage.
So I'm just fixing up the mess up of orders there again.
Yep. And
Eight
then
damage.
I'm going to go into patient defense.
Okay, so that was Thug B you went for, wasn't it?
Yep.
8 damage.
So just backhand swing with the axe. Yep. Blunt side to temple or chest, depending on how it ends up. And I've gone into patient defense.
Excellent.
So now anyone attacking me has disadvantage until my next turn.
No, Perth D&D, no, the rogue didn't show tonight. All right, so you just sort of step onto the back foot, put a little bit of weight on the back, not fully, you're not bending down, but you're just sort of almost in a little bit of a backwards crouch. And Thug A comes in from behind, tries to take it. He actually scoops his hand down and under to try and pull you off your feet.
Yep.
And literally, even on a disadvantage, just gets down on a knee and pulls up and grabs onto you. I would like you to roll me a contested strength or agility check, Alfia.
Acrobatics it is. Yeah, I think I'm winning this.
Yeah, 100%.
23.
So he literally gets under and you feel his shoulder come up under your leg and you just step around it.
I just lift that leg up and push it down on the shoulder and just, no, fuck off.
Roll me an attack. No, I'm sorry. Roll me a d6 plus your damage modifier. Did it come through, Alfia?
Sorry?
You're rolling me a d6 and adding your damage modifier.
Oh, okay.
Don't mind if I do.
5.
Is that unarmed?
It's the same damage modifier for the hand axe and for unarmed,
Excellent.
but the hand axe is already a d6, so I just used that one.
So he sort of goes under to scoop you, and you see it happening, and you just pull your foot up, and then just stand down on his shoulder, and he goes down and sort of gets up and takes 5 damage, realizing that was a poor choice.
Yeah, errors were made.
Guard.
Starting to rain, just gonna turn up the volume a bit.
No worries. A guard rolls a natural 20
That's
to not
better.
get afraid. So the guard as well has definitely got a lot of Dutch courage going on.
Yep.
Has a crack at you, Alfia, for a 10, but misses as well.
Yep, just slap his arm out of the way.
You could, but it doesn't even really get close enough. It was a wild haymaker.
Yep, fair enough. Probably just casually duck.
Scout, on the other hand, looks at what's going on and looks at you, Remy, and puts hands up and goes, looks sort of backs away from you, Remy, and then looks over at Formosus, goes, I'll go back into the tavern if I can. And starts to sort of back away from you, Remy, out of your range, so you can have an attack opportunity or you can let them go.
Yeah, I'll just call out to him, get out of here, and let him go.
Did I get one as well? Because
Yeah.
you went past me.
Yeah, so it literally just sort of moves, hands up, moves away, moves its full movement if it's allowed.
Can I just like wipe him with my staff, like my quarterstaff, just try to like trip him?
For damage or just for flair?
I want to try to immobilize him, so damage.
Okay, cool. Roll for attack.
Let's do it. Oof. I'm not good at this. 6.
Okay,
Big money, no whammies.
just gonna roll a wisdom check to see whether that annoys them enough. Natural 20.
Oh no.
So as you do that and miss, the scout
Yeah.
just stands on it as hard as it can, and then tries to kick you in the knees.
Oh. Is this the one that's got Bane on it? Because it will have a negative. It'll have the D4.
It'll have a negative D4 on it.
Mhm.
So it rolls a 0. So you just lift up and move the thing, and then it just keeps it gives up. It just has a go, and was going to stay and fight, but after that continues to run away.
He whiffed.
Okay.
Spy. What's the save again? It's wisdom, isn't it?
It is a wisdom save of 14, my friend. And he may also, get negative D4 because he is banned. And I hate him, so,
Again, rolled a 4. Goes to +1. Rolled a 4, so 1. So it stays again. Still just the same thing. Hardly breathing now. You can just see dribble and spit coming out the side. And just starting to hyperventilate. Like this goes on another round. It's going to start taking damage just from the level of pain laughing.
Good.
Remy.
Feel your hate, Formosus.
You are now in charge of this fast.
The humor flow through you.
Oh.
I've got a groveling spy in front of me.
You do.
And he was the toughest of the group, so he will recover at some point. So this is perfect for me.
Yep.
And I'll throw a dart into a back of his knee or hand or something.
You're in melee, so I would just stab it
Who am I in melee with?
with the spy.
He's incapacitated and has no actions.
Yeah, but because he's prone and you're throwing a melee, you get disadvantage to throw for ranged attacks on someone that's prone.
If you're further than 5 feet away, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you're within melee and you're throwing something, you're also getting disadvantage then.
Yeah, except
Flavored melee attack.
Except there's a clause with unless they're incapacitated.
Oh, okay. In that case, go ahead.
Because incapacitated
Since-
gives advantage and they cancel out.
Yeah.
True.
Well,
Well, that's not incapacitated. I've got advantage regardless.
Yeah.
He's prone, and I'm within 5 feet, and he is not a threat to me because he has no action because he's incapacitated.
Yeah,
It's a
cool. Go ahead.
Yep.
Specific clause. But so Tasha's laughter is the absolute perfect thing you could do for me because anything else of those combinations, and it wouldn't work. Where am I?
Wait until I get stunning strike.
There it is.
I mean, level 4, I'm gonna be taking Crusher, so I can just push people around.
I'm a class 16.
Easy hit.
Oh. 19 damage.
19 damage. That's gold.
But what?
And literally, it goes
nothing?
from breathing to just about passes out, and then and you see the spittle. There's a little bit of blood starts dribbling out of it as well.
What the hell is this precision strike? What the hell is precision strike?
That's Remy. It's what I've missed twice so far. Eventually one will hit, and then it'll be dangerous.
Anything else?
That's it. That's me.
Tanare.
I'll step back and line up another one.
Yes. I am going to
I'm googling this.
I'll put it in the chat. You can't tell you in the.
Yeah.
My guess is this is a feat.
Okay, so I will cast Guiding Bolt on. Let's just go with Thug B.
Thug B.
Yeah.
No
Right in front of me.
worries.
So
Roll your attack.
Oh, is it a Battle Master maneuver?
Don't worry about it. I'll let Tanaro go and I'll put it in the chat.
okay, where is it there? Oh man, my rolls are so terrible today.
So miss.
I told you it was all downhill.
That Bane, though, has been clutch.
Yeah, that's because I didn't have to roll for it. They had to fail.
All of my spells are all saving throws because I hate rolling spell attacks.
All right. Anything else, Tanare?
How are they looking at any of them? I mean, like,
Alfia's looking terrible.
yeah.
One of the bandits and the spy are looking terrible. All of the others either fine, both sides of the fight are either fine or have only taken a little damage, just so I've got a little scratch here or there.
That's fine. Okay, I will oh, I can't indicate on this. I want to come a little bit closer, but like only maybe like to that way, but maybe one more, so I'm slightly off the road, so one up and yeah.
Okay, and that's you.
Yes, that's me.
Thug B is within melee of Formosus now and is actually going to turn around, having been shot by a thing, and just throw a haymaker at Formosus.
My friend, that is... You're going to make a big mistake, but that is fine.
11 to hit.
Oh, that does not hit. I have an AC of 13.
So that would be a miss. He's going to take another one now. For a 21.
That's fine. That's fine. I'll take that.
Does 3 damage. Hits, but
Beautiful.
it's not a great one.
2, 3. And then I got to do a con save of 10 plus. And the laughter goes away. Sad face.
And
I
so
get slugged.
you notice at this stage that these look like the kind of individuals who would be able to punch more than once every turn, but their varying levels of intoxication mean that that's very dependent on whether they're breathing in or out, or whether they're dizzy that turn. And having uncovered that fact, Formosus, it is your turn.
So I'm going to spin around and go next to Elfia, which I think might proc an opportunity attack or 2.
It's not on your Alfia. The thug. Let's see.
Oh no, I'd still be in combat with the spy.
But not.
Be the thug
It'd be
B,
thug
yeah.
B. Yeah.
Come on.
No.
Let's go.
Thug B has a swing but misses completely.
Elfia, my dear monk, please take a heroism buff for my last spell slot. I'm assuming you are willing.
Yes.
You're immune to being frightened, and you're going to gain temp hit points to
Yep, I need that.
to my spellcasting. So you're going to get 4 temp hit points at the start of each of your turns until I lose concentration.
That helps. That helps.
Okay. And then it's bandits.
That's my turn. Can I bonus action Bardic Inspiration? I can't believe I forgot her name. Denare. Be like, maybe aim a little bit to the right, maybe a little bit higher, with your bolts. So you get a d6 whenever you want. These Bardic Inspirations last 10 minutes.
Hell yeah.
Elfia still has one,
Yeah,
and Tenare has one. And yeah, you can put them on ability checks and saving throws, so whatever you want, really.
The bandit, after you do that, the bandit looks at what's going on and looks at you, Alfia, and goes, "Whoa, fair cop, you win." It just sort of puts hands up, goes, "Yeah, no, I'm done. You win that fight."
Smart man.
And doesn't move back until you sort of let them go.
Yep. Do any of the others still look like they're trying to fight?
Yep, all the others except the bandit. Like, and literally on the beginnings of their turn, they're making rolls, and I'm changing the number they have to hit. So it'll be on their turn that you find out.
Yeah. Which one looks the closest to unconscious?
The spy on the ground in front of you, with like lying flat out on the ground, rasping for air. So probably not a fair fight there. The thug,
Out of the others.
Thug B is probably your next attack or Thug A, which has whacked you a few times.
Okay, I'm just going to double check the specific rules for the bonus action unarmed strike. Okay, so it's only if I take the attack action. But start of my turn, I do get full temp.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So 4 there, and yeah. So Thug B is looking rough.
No, neither of them are looking particularly rough. Sorry, I went the wrong way there. Spy. No, Spy is really the only one that's looking rough at the moment. The Thug A and Thug B are the only other ones apart from Bandit who've taken damage.
I'll go for Thug B.
Yep.
And yeah, gonna go for just swinging the axe across like a hammer into the side of the head. Hopefully.
Okay, still non-lethal?
Yep, still non-lethal. I will use that inspiration.
So you get a D6.
Add that. Okay, so 9 plus 3 is 12.
So Thug B sort of actually throws a hand up, like drunken boxing style, throws a hands up and gets it, but you're able to just twist over and just stab him in the face with the end of the axe.
Yep, and then boot to the groin.
Uh-huh. So how much damage did that first one take, sorry?
Oh, wait, I didn't do that yet.
Okay.
But for the bonus action unarmed strike, I rolled a 20 to hit.
Yeah,
dirty 20.
So completely thrown by the axe to the face. Like he's like, I blocked it, whack, upside the head.
Yeah, basically just like, and then as I pull that away, just boot up. So 7 damage on the axe.
And the boot?
And the boot.
Das Boot, yeah.
6 damage on the boot.
And starting to look like was already looking a bit wibbly wobbly, but now even more so.
Yep. Don't worry, D, we're going non-lethal. To everything except for a sperm count.
Although at this stage it's touch and go for the spy.
Yeah.
And spy might not be getting up. And if it does, probably not going to be able to spy very well after this. There's going to be some, asphyxiation-based loss of brain cells going on there. Thug A turns to you, Remy, as you step back and has a crack.
Okay.
But just sort of gets halfway there, throws a punch, and it's just the most pitiful excuse of a punch you've ever seen. Like, literally just like, completely misjudges it. Guy's wasted. No point having a second turn even. And after that one, still wants some more. Hasn't had enough. Very, very drunk. Guard as well. Hasn't been touched yet, so it's still up for a fight.
Fools.
Has a go at you, Alfia, but just so far from anything that you would have called a punch that you don't even notice it. Scout sort of out of the picture by this stage.
Books it.
Spy. Just stays lying on the ground. Covers his head. Doesn't even stop crying. The laughing subsides, but just stays there. Stays there still and down and doesn't do a thing. So Remy, essentially the two thugs and the guard are all that's left. Bandit's sort of slowly backing away, out of the way. Spy's just lying there prone going, nah, I'm done. Thug A, Thug B and guard haven't made their final
Have they still got
decision.
fight in them?
Thug A and B appear to. Guard just tried to punch Althea, but not very well.
Yep. Okay. Well, this time I'll have to step back 5 feet away from Thug A.
Yep. So you'll take an attack of top opportunity there?
Yeah. Yep.
And for some reason it works. You step away and the distance sort of pulls out from him and he trips forward, boom, hits you with an elbow, natural 20.
Okay.
And so it actually, for the first time, you feel the full force of the thug, but not purposefully, literally because it's put the full force into you.
You swine. How much?
6 damage total.
Oh.
And
Done. So pulling back and
manages
then I'll
manages
pull
to
out a-
sort of manages to
Okay.
hold himself and doesn't fall forward. And he's like, "Whoa!" Stays standing up
Okay.
as you move
He's gonna
back.
do the same thing. Throw a dart through his right hand.
Yep.
Oh, 3. No, miss. It's a 4.
Yeah, and it's just the hands moving too much because he's trying to steady himself. You just don't grab.
Yep.
You don't grab it. Is that it?
Yeah, that's me.
And Tanare, you're getting the impression that these people are losing the will to fight. You've seen it. You've seen it before in those as they're getting to that moment and they're realizing that they're not going to survive and they're not going to win. You're seeing this start to slowly go through all the people here as well, and it's interesting how similar drunken giving up is to actually giving up.
Sure.
Someone redeemed. Whose line is it? What does that do?
Since Spy and or whatever Scout or whatever his name was, not really don't have the will to fight, I will drop Bane and cast Bless.
Oh, awesome.
So on my 3 friends.
So what was that? It was blessed on your 3 friends, was it?
Yep.
So Althea's pretty much got everything now. You've got all of the buffs that exist. You get advantage on everything. Thanks for that, Sasha, by the way. I just saw Perth D&D's Whose Line Is It Anyway? So I'll accept that, and that will come up shortly. Anything else to know?
I might back up toward the house, the tavern wall.
Yep, just here.
Yeah, about there.
Okie dokie. Is that you?
Yeah.
And Thug B. Thug B is your Whose Line Is It Anyway? Perth D&D. As Thug B sort of goes to throw a punch, looks at the spy on the ground crying, looks up at Remy just throwing rail spike after rail spike. You've got some sort of dark robe sort of temptress over there just throwing spells off, and a whirling dervish of Althea sort of back to back with this kind of with this this impeccably dressed purple thing, and he's just like hey, holds back a wretch. Don't give up, don't hurt me, man. And he just sees the anger in Formosus's eyes. He goes, 5 kids to feed. And he just sort of stumbles back and sort of tries to pull himself out of range. Backs away. So Althea, you have a attack of opportunity if you want it, and
Nah, he's given up.
Yeah. And that is a redeemed whose line is anyway for Perf D&D there. So I'll have to work out another way to set up it so I see those straight away. But Thug B out of the fight unless somebody wants to do something. So he backs away and then he 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 moves off that way.
Cool. Nice.
Perf D&D says, "Yay, Thug B, run! Fly, you fools!" Absolutely. So that basically leaves us with Thug A and the guard. The spy is lying at your feet, Formosus, having very clearly given up. Your turn.
So kind of annoyed that Thug A even has the audacity, the nerve to swing at me. I will grab my loot, spin it so the fat end is like a club, and then just go to swing at him with it.
Nice.
Roll
Is it a
for-
reinforced one?
Of course. It is now. We're retconning that if it wasn't.
Yeah.
Okay, it's only an 8. I'm not like a martial fighter. I'm just
Yeah.
mad. I'm like, how dare you? Have at thee.
Just
Don't you know
fly.
how much these silks cost?
It's yeah. That loot is very, very possibly called flail because that's what it's doing right now. Anything else, or are you going to use the whole
Flail.
term to flail?
I will Bardic Inspiration Elfir again and be like,
Yeah.
leave my friend alone. She'll kick your ass. She's made me a lot of money. As I'm like flailing the loot around.
Nice.
Assume I have another D6. Sack.
Yep. Made note.
And then my turn is over.
So I've got bless, so I'm getting a D4. I've got inspiration, so I can use a D6.
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing.
Alfia.
Yes, I'll be very annoyed.
So you get 4 temp hit points, but they don't stack, so you still have 4 temp
Yep.
hit points. So
And,
you've got Thug A and guard.
Yeah, I am going to just walk forward and like not even properly attacking them, just pushing them in the chest. Just go on, fuck off, just piss off, run off with your friends. I'm going for an intimidation.
Roll intimidation with advantage, I think, is fair at this stage.
Get him, get him, get him, get him, get him.
First roll is a 6. Second, I'll take the 6 plus a D4,
Uh-huh.
which is a 1, so 7, plus a D6, which is a 2, so 9.
And the guard sort of looks around and looks at you and just narrows his eyes and gone, "Knock me out, you prick."
Very well. Upswing.
That was for the guard. Do you want to have a go at Thug A as well, though? So roll again for Thug A.
I'm going to say that the intimidation
no, hold on.
is probably my bonus action.
It was, I'll give you that, but it was an advantage as well. So before we do that, was that your advantage roll for the guard?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
And again for Thug A, they can be separate rolls.
Okay. Well, those are polar opposites.
So that I know, chat, you cannot see the rolls, but that was a natural 1,
First roll,
and then it was a
Nat
20.
advantage roll. Nat 20.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Thug A looks at the guard and sort of scoffs a laugh, and literally you just turn around and slap him on the face when you say piss off, and he follows your whack and just turns around and runs. Not even running towards the bar anymore, is running away.
Yep. And the guard said, "Knock me out." So
You gonna do it?
does a 20 hit?
Oh, just, yes.
That is maximum damage. 9.
Went down onto one knee, but doesn't go down. and defiantly looks up, spits at your feet. Finish it.
Well, that's my turn.
You know what? There's nothing else happening. Take a shot.
Do it.
Yeah.
And him, and him, and him. See how high you can get with your. Take
13?
the d6. Take
That's
the
a hit.
d4. Just
Yeah, 13 to hit.
It's only, and it's 2 damage. So tell us how it happens.
I'd probably just Sparta kick him in the face.
And he
Like,
goes down.
right in the middle of the face.
So you knock him out, but you don't kill him, right?
Yeah. And so he goes straight down, bangs his head, and he's just spread eagled flat on the side of the road.
And I have enough points for this.
Hey, there it is.
Yep.
Awesome.
bravo!
Huzzah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep, and I'm going to use my healing hands. Just, yep, 2 hit points.
What you
Good
can
thing someone's
do,
got
I
healing.
have magical inspiration. It's when you cast a spell that restores hit points or deal damage. You can add it.
Yeah.
Darn. That's alright.
Look, just, okay, touch my, like, broken ribs. Actually, no, the hammer fist was on top of me. Like, was on top of my head, so just, like, touch where Thugby split open my head a bit, and just like, yep, no, that's gotta go back.
Yeah.
And just the skin heals up.
Yeah. And Clarence, who is Thug B by this time, has absolutely barneyed off. They didn't see that. You, Tanare, see Thug B or Clarence head down this way. You don't see where they go, but
It's okay.
I am going to rifle the guard's pockets.
I want to go around the building to see if I can find the creature, the rabbit.
Okay,
I am going to sit on the crying spy and pull my dagger out and just kind of like just sit on him.
Sing a song.
starts crying again. This time, just low sobs.
Yeah. I'm going to just go through the guard's pockets.
You find 8 silver and 6 copper.
Yeah, money's money.
You find the lid of a bottle. And you find a little note that says bread, wheat, sharpened sickle.
Bread.
And then on the back, it's like, stay away from the tavern. Love you.
See you at 7. I'll put the soup on.
I'm going to take the bottle cap and hide it somewhere in some of his clothes, because it's presumably the cap of a booze bottle.
Yeah.
I'm going to hide the bottle cap somewhere on his person where he wouldn't normally think to check in his
So when
clothes.
his clothes are washed, his wife
Yep.
just goes it. Yeah.
Yep.
And you know that even though you didn't kill that guard, it's as good as dead.
His wife's gonna.
Yeah, that's the gift that's just going to keep on giving.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's like... Yeah, he gave me a concussion. I'm going to give him an argument.
I'm going to collect up my darts.
I shall loot the guy that I'm currently sitting on, just doing the whole like tutting, tut 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 tut.
And you're like,
And,
no, don't. And you pull out a scroll. No money on them, but a scroll.
Oh.
And on that scroll, when you open it up, it says... it's not in a language you understand really well, but you go through and let's say you work it out. And essentially, it's partially coded, and it says blockage in trade from north. Not sure what's happening. stories of elemental upheaval. That's all you can really make out. But it's a missive of some sort. And you find a gold. Just one gold piece.
But I'm gonna tuck that in like one of his pockets. Pat, you can keep that now. And then I've got the dagger. I'm like, now, this is a very good lesson as to why you should really be careful of who you call funny names, who you laugh at, and who you decide to fuck with. And as a reminder of that, I'm gonna nick his cheek, so that there'll be a nice wicked scar there. That is to remember me by. And if I ever see you messing with anyone else again, this will go somewhere where you will not like it. And I just spit on him as I get up and go and rendezvous with the party.
He stays there.
So,
Ooh, that was fun. Ooh.
Tenare,
I'm-
I assume you didn't get the pleasure of seeing that because you've gone around to see the bunny.
Yeah, no, I didn't see that.
You roll me a perception check.
Sure thing.
He might have heard it at least.
Yeah, probably. He was just like,
Oh man. 11.
you see the bunny, which is what
do you have
I'm
6
calling it
fingers
for
on your
now.
left hand?
That's a good call. Perth D&D's good value. We're very glad that they've joined our community. You look over and you see the bunny just standing on the other end of the field, like a bunny does, up and then down. And it's interesting. Like when it stands up, completely humanoid, but it still just goes down into bunny crouch, and you can see the same movements, and it's there just watching, but not coming any closer.
Okay. I just want to call out, but as calmly as I can. You know, I'm good at the calming tone, so I'll just sort of try to let it know that it's like safe.
It comes a little bit closer and then sort of stops. Comes a little bit closer. Within voice goes, thank you. You're not at all like that. That's thank you. It's a really kind of fast, high pitch, but thank you. But
You're welcome.
what?
They
I don't know what they would have done to me.
I don't either, but I don't like it.
I've got to go. I've got to find what happened to my mate. I'll come back.
Your
I'll
mate?
find.
Wait.
I'll find you soon.
Can
I'll
you
be
help?
back. Maybe. Will you be here later? Tomorrow? Later? Soon?
Yes.
And so, and I'll come back. And turns and full pelt bolts off.
Scared of it.
This sort of says it's going to come back.
I sort of stagger up beside crap, keep on forgetting name. Was it Taneri?
Tenare.
Oh, Tenari, yeah.
Tanari. Just, I could probably catch it.
Oh, I don't want to startle it any further.
Yeah, me
I
either.
I feel like pursuit is not the best option.
I think a nap is. God, my ribs.
I tell you what, friends, I am buzzing right now. That was so exciting. I feel like we're gonna go into that tavern, drink, eat, and I'm gonna do one of the best performances of my life. It's going to be amazing.
Yep. And
Okay,
I'll
okay.
sit back and put something cold on my everything.
You're everything.
Oh God.
Nice one.
Like, are there fireflies? Can anyone else see fireflies?
Oh, sorry, that might be my... And I just dispel heroism.
Half as many now. Different. The really bright ones have gone, but those sort of dull ones that seem like they have substance are still
Yep.
there.
Yep. Well, half of them are gone. I guess the rest is just a concussion.
And you sort of regroup and you head back towards the tavern.
I'll summon my reserve and second wind as we move over.
Yeah. As we like rest up in the tavern before turning in, I'm just going to short rest and heal up a little bit.
As you
Against the
get
wall.
back to the road, I would like you all to roll me a perception check.
I got a
Oh,
14.
so close. 17.
So, Althea, you look up at this fairly familiar pub. It's big. It commands the crossroads here, where the roads go in all ways. And you look up at the reasonably familiar sign, and on the sign there's a little house with a line that goes through the middle, and then another line that goes at an angle up, and another line that goes that way, and one that sort of comes out a little bit sort of towards you just by the way it's drawn. And you sigh, wipe a little bit of blood off your mouth, and step in to the Always Tavern.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's
Yep.
always a tavern.
Yep.
And that's where we'll call it for the evening. So you can all have a short rest. In fact, you can all have a long rest at this stage.
Can I roll to see what my performance is like before we go?
Do you want to pause here and do that next session, or do you want to just roll and find out what it is?
I'm easy.
Mhm.
Because I could always roll it now, and then you can think about the consequences of that if it is bad later.
Roll it now.
God damn it! I got a 2 plus 6.
About
Have
an
any
8.
of your performances actually been successful
I
roles?
don't think we've seen a good performance from him yet.
Like, one?
I've just become a meme at this point. Where I think I'm great, and no one else can appreciate my art. You know, like...
Just ahead of your time.
So, you're a bard.
I'm your guys' bard.
Yep. You're an arsehole, but you're our arsehole.
That's it.
I'm going to keep working on my song Formosa, and I'll tell you Formosus, and I'll
I was like,
Yeah,
God
give-
damn it, man!
give you my opinion. Give me your opinion.
Okay,
Maybe when we kick off next time.
okay. Maybe that could be the song that I got the 8 on because it was new and, you know.
Yeah.
I could do it. I could do it now.
No, we'll save that for the start of next time as well, I think, because we are getting a little bit late. So it's
Oof,
10 o'clock, and nominally,
Only an hour over time.
yeah, nominally on a Monday we're aiming to go from 7 to 9, but I get the impression that we all understand that that's rarely going to happen. So as
Yeah.
players, we all try and get in as close to 6:30 as we can to set up. We'll try and start as close on 7 as we can and finish 9-ish, sort of soft finish. So for me, a Monday night, it's the beginning of the week. It's been rubbish anyway, so we may as well have some fun. And Tuesdays are like just the hidden Mondays. They're way worse. So I'd rather be tired and have a reason for it.
Yeah.
So our setup is from here on in is like this. So this is our on week. Next week, I think ideally most of us have other stuff to do regularly. I think it's board game for you sometimes, Sasha, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Anthony, I think you said you'd be better off with fortnightly. And so I think we all agreed that fortnightly is a good way to do the gaming side of things.
Yep.
And I will still be here on a Monday night on our off weeks, though. And during that time, we'll do some planning, some world building. We'll play around with some characters and some options. Talk D&D. Anybody who is available, I invite you to join us, and we'll come online and we'll talk trash. We'll talk D&D. We'll share, DM and LARPing. Well, not in my case, the LARPing ones. War stories. If
Like, I'm happy to occasionally drop in on the off weeks and do tales from around the campfire.
Yeah, we were going to do some of those at some stage down the track. We'll probably run a few one-shots on that off week from time to time. It's still it's an open space at the moment. Short term for me, I've actually got to work out my exhaustive plan for the campaign, because this is part of a campaign. This isn't a world where I run my other game, and so you guys have come in on the same day that my other one, just for the ease of me, you're actually on the same date that I'm at with my other group as of now.
Yep.
So you brought it in, and that's where that's going to take off. Where it goes from there, it goes. But just for me, for planning, what I had been doing in my campaign is just there were some broad nebulous ideas, but now that there's two different points of reference, I'll actually have to nail some of them down.
Yeah.
So that'll be something I'll be doing over the next few weeks when we're not playing. We do have one other player who's signed on who hasn't been able to make it today. So we'll need to look into that, and we'll go from there.
I'm usually available anyway. So.
Excellent. And so we'll have chats about storytelling and D&D and backgrounds and all those kind of things.
Also, quick shout out to Kitty for doing the portrait for my character.
Yes, there are some. Let me drop back over onto those. So you can see these
artwork coming.
Four little pieces of artwork down there, done in various ways. I'll be updating the artwork as new stuff is done by Kitty or by others. And if you're in the chat and you fancy yourself or fancy having a bit of a crack at one of the characters or something, post it up on our Session 0 engagement. We'll have a look at it, and as we like them, we'll cycle some art.
Yeah,
So,
and I believe the one you've got on my icon next to the actual camera is one of the slightly older ones. The one I've got on the D&D Beyond tab is the current
that's it.
version.
And I didn't get a chance to update that one or the one that I think Kitty did for Moses either. So for next week...
not finished anyway. That was just a quick outline.
Okay, so those as they come and as they're updated, I'll be checking obviously with Kitty and then just updating them and cycling them through as we see them. And I'm saving them in a little file. So once we get, once I get better at this, we'll run some art on a flip through the non-existent break that we didn't have, or maybe at the beginning rather than the streaming soon page. We might, because I played around with that today. Rather than that, we will set up maybe a run of images or something like that.
Yeah, and quick inquiry. We are running by XP. Do we get any and how much?
You do. You all get 500 XP.
Oh.
Woo! I believe
Not
that is
quite.
almost a
I'm sorry.
level.
Yeah, I was hoping that it was going to go there, but it doesn't quite.
Where does one put
Manage
XP?
experience.
Yeah, just go to manage experience and throw it in with the new value. So, thank you everybody for engaging in there today. Perth D&D, it was wonderful to have you join us. Book God, fantastic to have your input as always. I know we don't get to directly reference it as often while we're playing, but it is good and we are watching it there and having a little bit of... Nice.
Yeah.
Good use of the sound.
Perfect timing. Got to applaud the fans.
That's it. So tell me, how do you actually do that? Because I can't access the little button because I'm on OBS rather than on the page.
Yeah.
What do you have
So
to do?
at the bottom of the chat on the left-hand side of the chat sidebar, there is the icon with the channel points.
Oh, it's just on channel
Shows
points.
you how
So
many
it
channel
is.
points you've got. And then, if you click on the channel points, it comes up with all of the options in there. Sound alert applause is 800. There is sound alert Owen Wilson, presumably, wow.
That's totally that.
Yep, wow, for 5,000.
That's low key what I'm saving for a good nap.
Wow.
Or a flop, a glorious flop.
Yeah.
I only just worked out how to do it too, so it's only 10 minutes before we came online that I started playing with the channel point side of it. I thought I could only do bits, which I don't encourage you to spend. Don't go and buy them, please. But so it's great that we can do them with channel points. There are some that you can't access without being a sub. to the channel and those kind of things, because I'm just playing around with how it works. I am trying to work out how I'm even going to justify having subs, because it just seems weird to be going, no, pay to watch us play games and video games and things, which I would be doing anyway for free.
Yeah.
But we'll watch that space. We'll see what happens. Definitely won't be taking away access to just watch us play around in our sandpit. So anything else to add before we call it a night?
Probably possibly worth putting up like other things elsewhere that you can get access to if you're a subscriber, or setting up a Patreon with like campaign notes and stuff.
Yeah,
so people can see some of what's behind the scenes and everything.
that's it. I'll be looking into that eventually. I want us to sort of get into a rhythm and decide what we do and what we don't do here, and then I'll start thinking about what else there can be. I mean,
it's your channel.
I want to see whether we have a market before we worry about that kind of stuff, because otherwise that'd be silly. There's a lot of work where I could be drawing maps or playing Sea of Thieves, or spending time in the real world with the girl in the other room. All those kind of things. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us.
I was actually able to spend time with my girlfriend on Wednesday. We never get to spend time with each other, so.
No, that's just something that's the dream of any kind of relationship, isn't it? Is actually spending time with people that we love.
Yeah.
So thank you all for your engagement. Thank you, folks, for helping me in the chat there, which I keep missing. I'm still playing around with the layout on my screens, and we're at the stage where we're selling the house, so it's eventually going to change, and I'll be, I don't know, streaming from a field or somewhere shortly, which will be an interesting thing. So if we do get a few weeks in and then suddenly drop off for a couple of weeks, it's because we don't have a house at the moment. So that's a very real possibility over Christmas. But I imagine we'll get just enough going and then have a break for Christmas, because it's warm and there's an outside.
Yeah.
Praise the sun.
100%. All right, so I'm now going to pop off and write up the notes for the day. So I've got my little book and I write down what happens every day. And when we come back next week, the week after next, we'll be having a long rest and a bit of a rubbish performance.
Very good.
Should have waited.
Thank you.
Should have waited.
You know what? I'm sure for a special present on our first session we can wait.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Because it'll be more fun that way.
It'll be fun.
The rolls are really just suggestions, aren't they?
Yeah.
Unless they go against what we want to do, and then they're definitely important. All right, so thank you all very much for jumping in. I will be back hopefully this Friday. I think I'll be around this week to play probably some Sea of Thieves. And I believe this weekend is also another Icarus beta weekend. So I've been jumping on board with the Survive Icarus beta on every other weekend. Absolutely terrible for streaming, because I get I go all zen and I focus on trying to hunt the deer and play the game and don't talk enough because I don't have other people playing it. So it's sort of almost like ASMR akin, me sitting there trying to survive on an alien planet. I've been playing with a couple of people last week, so I'll try and stream a bit of that on the weekend. But we'll be back here next Monday at the same time, some of us at least, and we will be doing some prep. So until then, we're going to log off. We're going to leave the stream with you, and we will see you before too long. Thanks very much.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.